This is super bright. Let's go like this. Yeah. It looks dark though. Wow. Okay. Not sure if I did something different, but you know, don't know what I'm doing with the camera. So that's why that is what that is. All right. Man, let's do this. Let's do this. Chat, how we doing? We're back. We're live. I thought that this was necessary. After having to dip out for the Bleacher Report stream, I gave you guys a really short live stream, and that was cool. Like, I'm fine with that. It's kind of like a video, even though it was a little bit weird because I didn't have like, I kind of show graphics, but not really. It was weird. It was weird doing a live like that. Also, I was super kind of like juiced up, like with the move being made, that it was difficult for me to like be like real cool and calm through that whole thing. So I felt like I owed you guys a little live stream here because I also wanted to discuss some of these over unders that I don't know that they came out today, because I found an article from like 2 months ago that said, hey, the over unders dropped. And I was like, oh, snap. Okay, these look the same. So I don't know. I thought that they dropped today. That's what I had heard. And then I saw an article from a while back that said that they dropped like weeks ago or something. So I'm not sure. But I wanted to react to those. We don't have to go through all of them, but just kind of talk through them. My man, Jonathan. How you doing, Jonathan? What's good, fam? What's good, man? How you doing? Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, honestly. Like, I'm pumped up about this golf thing. You can see the title. And really, the reason I named it that is because I have this like compilation video that I put together, and it's not that much. It's like it's only a few minutes, and it's only from a few different videos, mainly because honestly, I couldn't find it. Like, bro, first off, I have way too many videos on my channel. Secondly, I don't title things to what they actually turn into, to be honest with you. Like, a lot of our live streams, whatever I title them, it's kind of just all over the place once we go live, especially our old ones with Rad. So it was difficult to like search things back. What's up, Kyle? How you doing? Second live today? Yes, sir. Second live today. I don't know how long we're going to be live either for this one. Hopefully, we're going to have a third live this week. We will have a third live this week. It'll probably be live. It could be pre-recorded. We may do both, but it's probably going to be live. And that is because we are going to be reacting to the schedule release, which is supposed to drop on Wednesday. Now, again, I'll be on Bleacher Report when it like immediately drops, hopefully. And then after that, we'll be live over here and hopefully with some special guests. My man, Vision Stealth with another 199. I appreciate you, man. That's the second time today, man. You're going crazy. Hey, I appreciate you, man. How you doing? What up, Troy? What did Rad have to say about this? I actually haven't spoke to Rad yet. I've texted him today. I haven't spoken to him today, but I'm sure he'll talk about it. I'll say this though. Me and Rad spoke the last couple of days about this situation. And like Rad's, I feel like Rad's come along. Like, Rad's definitely come along, just in terms of being a golf guy, just in general. And we've discussed this. I don't want to say that like what side was he on, because he didn't know what number that it would be. I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. I'll leave that up to him. Hopefully we can get him on this week. That'd be great. And then I'll let him give his thoughts now that we actually have like a number to it. What was I gonna say though? I forgot something. You saw the video earlier also. Okay, so you saw the earlier live stream. Not sure how I feel about Goff being paid so much, but if we keep winning. So this is what I also wanted to do. I also wanted to show some clips from the San Fran game. So I don't know who it was in the chat, but I know like when we go live, there's been like one person in the chat. Say what's up if it's you. You may not be here right now, but they would like hop in the chat and be like, yo, did you review that San Fran game? And I had, afterward, I don't know that I've actually like officially just went through the entire L22 of it. I know I've like reviewed it, rewatched it a few times, but I've kind of like pushed that, like just moved on. Like, yo, I don't want to look at this anymore. So today, after this news, I don't remember what I was looking for, but I know what I was looking for. I was looking for Josh Reynolds' usage within the offense, because I'm always just kind of trying to think about the receiver position. That's the one position I'm constantly thinking about, right? Donovan Peoples-Jones, what could be his impact you're seeing for Antoine Green, but I was really looking for J-Mo. I was like, yo, where's J-Mo at? Is J-Mo cooking? So I went to that San Fran game just to kind of look at some specific things there. And man, I was like, let me clip some of this, because my man has been asking for this. And I think this is perfect for today's video now that Jared Goff has gotten paid. My man says, so Aleem next. I would assume so. Now, if I were the Lions, I'd get that done as soon as possible. If he'd be willing to. I could understand if he didn't want to, but I also would understand if he wanted to. I think that his value is just going to go up. So if I'm the Lions, I would get that thing done. But I think that he's next up for sure. And I think Aleem will. Aleem's like one of those dudes that feels like he gets better every single year. And as long as that continues, he'll be in line to get new 20-0 this year. Heard it here first. Jordy, I believe you. Everyone has to be Goff's guys now. Okay, let me actually Goff guys now. Oh, I got you. Hey, You're not wrong about that. Not now it's like you're forced to. Actually, will that be the case or will it split people more? I feel like in a way it might split people more. Like anybody who wasn't a golf guy, like now they're gonna be real split on it. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But I hear what you're saying because he's gonna be here. Predicted 212, 170 guaranteed. It's exactly what you predicted. Michael, you got some insight? I found out that Manu went up against Betts at rookie minicamp today. Sewell's 58, Manu's 59. Unstoppable. We, unstoppable. Hey, we is ready. Hey, what's up, Michael Betts? Shout out to the Hall of Famer man in the chat. Yeah, hey, I got. Look, man, I did the Betts video. You were someone that was like, yo, talk to me about Matthew Betts. So you were part of the inspiration for me to like, I got to get this Matthew Betts video out. We do have Manu who's going to be coming up here soon. Aaron Arnold's going to be the next one. I know I asked you guys to do like a voting thing, but with the Aaron Arnold, like the interception and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I got to dive into this. So today I went through the first half of the season so far. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll finish up the rest of the last season, specifically getting through all the games there and getting my clips. I have a ridiculous amount of clips right now, but I want to get that one out just because of kind of the buzz around Tyrion, plus the questions that I continue to get fired with or peppered with, which is about his long speed. I'm like, all right, we got to address this. We got to address this. So that's the next thing. Okay, that's the next video. Every quarterback is toasted on no lie. Let's be real. Speaking facts. And actually, we got a great clip for that. What does this mean for Hooker? I think what this means for Hooker is go ball out in the preseason, right? For his best interest. Go ball in the preseason because we don't even know what you look like as an NFL quarterback. We have no idea. There's that. Number two, I think if healthy and he looks good in the preseason, he's the kind of guy that at times I would be willing to rotate into certain packages, knowing that I have Nate Sudfeld. If we keep three quarterbacks on the roster, right, or maybe with the emergency thing, and we feel good about Nate Sudfeld, I do. I would be willing to utilize Hendon Hooker in certain packages, like goal line packages, for example, where I can utilize his legs. Like I'd have certain packages to get him snaps, kind of like what Antoine Green did at receiver, but at quarterback. It wouldn't be much. It'd just be a little bit out there that I just throw to just get him snaps. But obviously, he's going to get the majority of snaps in the preseason. We're going to let him roll, I would assume. And then beyond that, it's kind of like a fallback option, I guess, in a way with Goff's new deal. Like, hey, if something crazy happened, which I don't think this is going to happen, but for whatever reason, you traded off the guy and you had to eat a whole bunch of dead cap. You're like, all right, what do we do now? You go to the quarterback there not paying and then Hooker. So there's that. And as long as he plays really well in the preseason, at least he could work himself in that conversation of, hey, I'm the fallback option. Or he's a really good backup, which in today's NFL, man, is necessary because everybody's playing backup quarterback at some point. Even with Goff, I mean, we've seen backup quarterbacks play during the season. So got to have those guys. Anyway, like a Taysom Hill type. I absolutely like, and maybe like not that unique. Like definitely wouldn't be using on special teams. I wouldn't be like running him very much outside of just having the option. Like I don't know how many design runs I do, but yes. So it's like if it was third and goal from the one, I wouldn't have an issue with the Lions putting Hendon Hooker in the gun and like utilizing maybe a rollout or maybe not even a rollout. Maybe if it was, let's say it's third and one or fourth and one from your own 25, you want to put him out there. You want to run a zone read. Maybe you want to have a receiver. You want to have a little route off of it. Maybe something like that, like a pure short yardage play because we know Lions will go out there and they'll get in formations where it's like, oh, they're running the ball. They're running the ball here. And everybody in the world knows they're going to run the football. So at least now you get a second option. You have a second threat to take off. I wouldn't have an issue with that just to maybe even build some comfortability there for him. Add all our salaries together, and it still would be $50 million in 30 years. It's probably accurate. Yeah, hey, look, I don't know what people are making in the chat. You know what I mean? But yeah, NFL quarterbacks are doing okay. They're doing all right. They're doing all right. Anyway, hey, shout out to the NFL for getting that many views. Because look, man, this is off topic. It's a media world, man. I mean, you get the numbers, you get the attention, you get the views, you get the money, you get the advertisements. They got the money to give out, man. Like for real, bro. So shout out to the NFL because they bring that kind of viewership to make that make sense. But with that, so let's dive into this because I have a couple clips. Yo, I actually found some like super funny clips from me and Rad. I didn't save them because some of them aren't even on topic, but they're all pretty funny. So I think at some point we might just have to react to those. Like I might just have to pull that video up before we get to that little compilation, though, because it does address what my man said about having offensive line help. I want to start with actually, should we do that? No, let's start with the compilation. We'll bounce around because I think if I start with this, it'll make more sense. It'll make more sense, and then we'll do the look at some of the NFL over unders because I'm not like Mr. like a betting advice. But, we did some bet things last year, and I'll just tell you what I'm thinking. That's it. I'll just tell you what I'm thinking. 30 years, that's so long. Phillips deserves the NFL. Oh my gosh, I couldn't read. Those deserve the views the NFL get. Hey, hold up. Hey, hold up. That would be crazy. I'm glad Goff got his bag. W for Goff and the Lions. My man Broder's in the building. Shout out to Dion for the salary. Hey, Broder was here. Hey, y'all were here, man. Shout out to Broder. He was showing love in the chat, man. That video worked out perfectly. That's one of those where you're like that aged well. Versus like the other, half the videos where you post it and you're like, oh dang, that didn't happen at all. Like I've had many of those. So that one actually like worked out perfectly. Great timing. Shout out to Brad Holmes for saying his thing and then getting the deal done like immediately because it made it work out perfect. So it was great. Dak will demand more and stuck. Well, yeah, Dak. I'm not a Dak guy. I'm not a Dak guy. Actually, I think I was in the past, but I don't think it's because I watched him. I just think I knew his stats. Nah, I ain't no Dak guy. Okay, check. Give me a 1 if y'all can hear this. Okay, there's different clips in here, but this is one that I was trying to play on Bleacher Report. This is the first clip that I had saved because to me, and it's not playing yet, but to me, this was the clip that best represented like this best represented where I was coming from last season, and I can remember this really well. This was after the Chicago Bears game, and after this game, man, it was the turnovers, right? This is the one that we lost in Chicago. I think it was that one, 28-13, and it was rough. It was rough. I was on Easy Show afterwards, like the week of to discuss this one, and there was a lot of heat. My man, the General Z is here. Here's for the good times, but hey, my man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. Hey, you've been here for a minute too, my guy. My God, man. I when I go back and watch old streams, I see you in the chat. So that's amazing. Let's do this. Let's start with this clip. Because I think this is perfect, man. This is perfect. This is why the title is what it is, basically. Dang, that shirt. Okay, so that's the first clip. And that was the clip I was trying to show earlier today. There's no sound. All right, let me so dang, I was just letting that thing play. Yo, the shirt though, oh my okay, I'm gonna have to get that figured out. The shirt though is crazy. Just straight like I don't know what's going on with that shirt there, man. I don't know what happened. That's that's rough. Okay. Why am I not getting something? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull it up. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull it up on a different browser. I think for whatever reason, I think it's the browser that I'm grabbing it from. Let me pull it up on the browser that I'm currently on, and maybe we'll try this one more time because I do want to show the other one doesn't need sound because it's just football clips. But that one will be good if you hear this first. This is like the third time I played this thing. I played this thing 3 times. Haven't heard it one time. Okay, we're gonna try one more time. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Oh wait, I didn't have the. I think I figured it out. I didn't have the box clicked. Pretending to read lips, epic. Yo, and then it's a little choppy too, so it's like real challenging. Now I didn't have the box clip. Okay, click. Okay, we should be good. It was not perfect. It was not perfect in this game, and things like that. I don't step away saying, "Man, Goff looks completely lost." He's not regressing. He's Jared Goff. He is who he is. We know who he is. And I'm telling you what I'm feeling here. I'm just telling you right out. Sell your stock if you want to. This is the same guy that I've seen all season long. To me, it's no different. Well, this is still Jared Goff. He's still the same guy. Didn't think he played bad. Thought his decision-making was good for the most part. If you want to or don't, I'm not going to. I'm telling you that right now. We can revisit this weeks from now, and you can tell me I was wrong. But I'll tell you what, that's how I feel about it. This team will bounce back, and it won't be because of Jared Goff that they don't bounce back. That with Goff. Okay, that was the first one. I'm glad we got that out of the way, bro. That's been a whole struggle to play that video. Okay, now the sound's working. Great. So that was the first video. That one was after the Chicago game, and I just thought that was perfect because I can remember after that game, man, the heat was on, and I feel like I don't know, like I think in a way, like you really get a sense of where you're at specifically, like where your heart is at, like what you truly believe when things are like really in the dumps like that, like when things are going bad. You get a sense of like how you truly feel about a situation. So that's why I played that one because I can remember at the time, man, that was like one of the most passionate little like, and I can feel it like when I'm doing a video or I'm doing a show or whatever, and like it turns into one of those modes. And that doesn't mean it's gonna be right, but it's like that's truly how I'm feeling. When it came to that, I can remember, bro, recording that. I was like, yo, this is one of the best like energy segments that I've had because I was so fired up to do that video, so excited to do. It was a long video. There's a lot of clips in there. But I think that was perfect just because of the time of the year. And I also think it worked out really well because at that time, we were good. We were still good during the season, but we were coming off the loss. Then obviously we we bounced back. We did our thing. Now this next one, okay, I don't know if I can read that. Okay. Hey, yo, I don't know if that's. Do we know the schedule for? No. So Wednesday we're gonna get the schedule released. There's been some leaks. I'm not looking at no leaks personally because I want to be like completely shocked when we do our live stream. But Wednesday is supposed to officially release. They say 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure we'll all know before that time, at least most of our games. But we'll be reacting to that on Wednesday. It's just the Bears. I truly believe they have our number. I think they learned our scheme. I'll say this. So this is okay. I think I have the clip saved. So we're going to continue through these because I have other clips and I want to show you guys clips from the San Fran game because obviously there'll be questions about paying Goff and like, okay, does he deserve it? Those kind of things. And I really thought the San Fran game, like watching back, I was actually really impressed. Man, he actually played his butt off in this game. And I was like, yo, I didn't want to revisit this, but man, we kind of sold in this one. Like we should have won this football game. It's a lot worse than I remember. But to what my man just said, I think the Bears. So that is something that I was watching back old clips, and it might be in this next one I'm going to show you, but it was from like 2021, the first season after Jared Goff, was like after the season. And I was talking about how most teams were running cover 3 and cover 1. Like teams were playing middle field close or single high coverage against us over and over. And at that time I was like, yo, we need outside receiver help because everybody is just playing one-on-one with us on the outside. They're taking away the middle field and they're getting extra support for the run. I was saying that. And now we fast forward to this past season, what you're saying about Chicago, and Chicago gave us prop. They're a heavy cover 3 team. They do that exact same thing. Baltimore, right? They did a lot of that against us, if I remember correctly. A lot of single eye safety. Green Bay does a lot of the cover 3. So like that same issue to me continues to be that aspect, but it's also why I even threw in some Jameson Williams clips because I think there's some real reason for hype there this season. Packers are the only worry this season, really. All right, we're gonna get to the over-unders. I may surprise people. I don't have the. I'll save it. But I got a different take on the Packers, to be honest. Now, I'm not usually extremely accurate with those, to be honest with you. Like in the past, like I've been way off on division stuff. But like where I'm at right now, and maybe this will be more accurate than where I am before the season, it's hard for me to gauge the rest of the NFC North because I'm truly biased and I try not to be. But like really trying to take an unbiased approach, I'm not as high on the Packers as I am some other teams, especially against how we match up with them. I'm actually really confident how we match up with Green Bay, especially now. Like to that point that I just made about us offensively, even watching other clips about what I would talk about for us in the past defensively, it really tied into how I think that we can beat Green Bay, what Green Bay presented us, the challenges they presented us with, and how I feel like the cornerback additions have completely shaken everything in terms of the way that we are going to be able to match up with that team. And actually, the reason I bring it up is because, so someone brought up today the Green Bay game. Green Bay blew out Dallas in the playoffs, right? It was like 48-16. And Dallas was a team. I remember picking Dallas for that game on Bleacher Report. We did our weekly picks. I took Dallas, and I took Dallas because I thought schematically with all the man coverage that they ran, like, yo, Dallas is going to match up really well because I thought Green Bay struggled against man. And then they went into that game, and if I remember correctly, they played a ton of zone coverage. Like they shook up what they normally do, and it went horribly wrong. Now, I truthfully have never really went through the all 22 of that game. I watched bits and pieces of it, honestly, because I was driving. Then I got there a little bit late before, like once it started, it was already 14-0 or something. But watching that game live and then us discussing it afterwards, it was like, yo, they changed up how they played them. And to me, that would have been the advantage for them. So I really do truly believe that we actually have the pieces, more man-heavy investments at corner that's going to match us up a lot better against Green Bay than maybe Chicago, for example. DJ Reader was so nasty. I still want to do a full DJ Reader video. Also, I've been diving into Carlton Davis and Marcus Davenport. Davenport is like, bro, he's a freak. Like, he just don't look normal. Like, to be honest, he don't look normal, man. And then Carlton Davis, that man, especially in man coverage, like the footwork that he plays with it's impressive. It really is. Okay, but anyways, I got clips saved. We can get to that later. We may have to get some of those in a live stream if we can't do a full video. Let me go to the next clip because I don't remember what this one is, and we'll continue with this discussion because this just gets more and more interesting as we go. They had to lean into that, and he showed that he was capable. With the Rams, it was like when things fell apart, Goff was just there, and it was like, all right, Goff, we're going to ask you to do it. It was like it needed time to kind of develop. And that's why I think Dan Campbell said what he said, and it's why I didn't feel like Goff had hit a ceiling yet. And now I feel like he's working towards that with Ben Johnson.
Right, he's playing well, plays well against Tampa Bay.
Okay, so that was an older clip as well. I can kind of tell you where these clips are from based on just the way that I look. Like, yo, this one, This one is after the 2021 season, I believe. If you go to some of my really old videos, there's like nothing in the background. I think this was after 2021 because I got the Goff jersey in his first season. You can see background looks more plain. I still have all the kind of the same stuff, missing some bobbleheads. This was after the 2021 season, this next clip. But that one before was really kind of what we've talked about many times over here. So that's like one of those things that I feel like, and the reason I put that clip in here is just because I think it represents that, like, yo, the way that it's worked out, like, you guys know I'm a Goff guy. It's a lot of like the aspect of, I think, how the Lions went about doing it that ended up making it work so well. I hope Davenport is healthy. Me too. Because, the Lions brought up when talking about that is like, hey, even in the 2 games that he played, he looked good. And the 2 games that he specifically played, he played a third game, but I think he was injured in that third game. The 2 games that he specifically played was, I was just going through these. It was Kansas City and it was Carolina. Carolina, he had more production, even though Kansas City, he had some quarterback hits as well. Carolina, he gave him real problems from the interior. But he also brought up Kansas City. He brought up both of those games, Kansas City too. Kansas City, like, I'm going to have to watch more of Davenport because one thing that I took away from Minnesota, it's kind of an early takeaway. I almost feel like there's a really good chance that Minnesota tried to do too many games with Marcus Davenport from the outside. Like, when watching him, Marcus Davenport, it felt like they were just trying to do too much. It was like, man, let him go one-on-one with the tackle here. Stop stunning him inside. Stop doing all these games with him. The Lions may pull back on that. That's kind of my early sense on it, that maybe Minnesota was using him in too much movement because they're a heavy blitzing team versus what maybe they did with New Orleans. Because New Orleans, he was incredible, statistically incredible. And even the little bit that I've watched with him with New Orleans, it's like really fast to notice this guy's awesome. How in the world do we have this guy right now? And then Minnesota just looked a little bit different. He was still effective, still had wins. But that's just kind of like one of my early takeaways. Okay, let's continue on because things are kind of going to start getting funny here. Okay.
Goff was just there, and it was like, all right, Goff, we're going to ask.
So that's speaking on the McVay situation a little bit.
And you have a really big letdown kind of game against a team like Miami that gets after you. They blitz all the time.
Okay, so this was me discussing, and this was kind of like a background. So you guys remember we made the trade for Jared Goff. Like, we did some things on that, and one of the main talking points was the relationship between him and Sean McVay. But it's really not as much about like, yo, personality wise, they hated each other, that kind of thing. More so about like how things got really sour. And then obviously we saw that towards the end, and why I think a lot of the real reason that the trade actually happened, and why it's also, I think, really worked well in Detroit.
And you have a really big letdown kind of game against a team like Miami that gets after you. They blitz all the time, and he doesn't really know.
So pause it right there. Okay, so I'm bringing up a specific game. We did our breakdown when we added Jared Goff, and one game that I think we went through was Miami. It was like one of his worst statistical games of his career. But I bring this up because it's a good context to the video that we did on Friday, which was some of the reasons to re-sign Jared Goff, which is Minnesota. The way that he performed against Minnesota last season was maybe the most impressed that I was with Goff in the entire year. Not because like maybe that was his best game, but because of what I thought that meant. Obviously Minnesota needed more talent defensively. They weren't terrible. They had guys, but their secondary was kind of a mess. But it was more so that you walked away from that and said, look, a guy that schematically, I'm watching myself. I know it's weird. It's weird. It's honestly going to continue for a few more minutes. I did a lot of watching myself to put this together, which makes it even more weird. And bro, the old stuff is crazy. The old stuff is crazy, man. I'm like, yo, I can't put this in there. But yeah, no. So the Minnesota one, like, to see the way that he was able to respond, and I'm kind of trying to give context here because we talked about the blitzing yesterday and the statistics against the blitz: 6 touchdowns, no picks. Year before, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. The pass rating was over 100, I believe, this past season when blitz. Like, how good he's been against the blitz. And I think this is a great spot for context where we talk about how he's grown with the Detroit Lions. And if we're talking about his extension, maybe we shouldn't look at it as much as like, okay, well, what did he do last season? That's why he got the extension, but more so as a full picture of where did Goff start and where is he now? What has his progression been like? Is it one of these things where he's the same guy that since we've gotten him, it's like, yeah, that's Jared Goff from the Rams. He's just here. He's kind of just there. And then everything else is growing around him. And it's part of it. Everything else is growing around him. But I think it's also giving context to where has Jared Goff really grew? Because I think outside of statistics, it's really hard to just look at numbers and say Jared Goff simply has become a different quarterback. Like if I put Goff's stats with the LA Rams and then I put Jared Goff's stats with the Lions outside of his first year with the Rams, you'd be like, okay, he's pretty darn good in both. So it'd be very difficult for you to put them side by side and say, man, I'd say Goff has gotten a lot better here. It's not as easy to just point to the numbers and see that. But as something that we've also touched on is I thought that Goff's entrance into the NFL was much different than most quarterbacks. He had a rookie season, which was a dumpster fire, and it obviously he started halfway through the season. Most people thought he'd be week one ready. Started halfway through the season, was terrible. And then they added McVay, and they were extremely good, and they added so many pieces around him. They just kept making big investments, splash moves. We're ready to win now. It feels like in a way it kind of stunted the natural growth of what a quarterback should get. And Goff's even spoken on this, like, yo, we have to give these guys more time. And it's really worked out because in an NFL where everything seems to happen so fast, maybe guys don't get enough time depending on the situation. Goff was thrown into a spot where I don't think he had the opportunity to get a natural growth in the NFL, but yet his team was so darn good that they put around him that it really truly was like, hey, we're going to try to simplify this thing. Not to say he didn't do anything, but this is about the team we can stack around you while we're not paying you. And now and when he joined the Lions, he was essentially forced to say, hey, this can no longer just be about the team that we put around you because we have resources. Like, yes, the 2 first-round picks were very beneficial. We landed some studs. But financially, we didn't have that much money, especially when we first got here. We had set the record for most dead cap. In a way, the drafting's been incredible. The roster, the most pieces that we brought in have been really good. Brad's killed it on that side, but it still forced Goff to also grow his game and become a better player. And I think that this is a great example of that because when he played on a really good roster after having been in the league for a couple of seasons at that time, and he played Miami, who blitzed the heck out of him like well over 50% of the time, and it was a disaster. I mean, it didn't seem like he knew where to go with the football. And then you flip back to this last season. That's not even to say Minnesota's defense is as good as Miami's was. I don't know if there was large gaps, but you go to this last season, and both times he plays Minnesota, even at the second time, I was like, well, they're probably going to shake some things up. He doesn't turn the ball over. He knows where to go with the football. And I got specific clips to show for that. Guys, I'm going kind of on a little rant here, but let's just go to some of the clips that I have before I forget, because the first 2 clips that I had saved are exactly that. Is it true that the extension created more cap space right now? I don't know, honestly. Like, maybe someone has details on that. It's possible. It is possible. I don't know that it did. I know that it's possible that it did. There was a lot of flexibility within this deal. They definitely could have. I don't know that it was also necessary that they did, unless it was maybe for a rollover situation or they just want more cap space in case they want to go make a trade or something becomes available down the road. But financially, they're in a pretty good spot. I believe like they were pretty, well over $20 million in cap space before this move, even after the CJ Moore and Pecco addition. Assuming Pecco didn't get paid a ton. So I don't think that they would have necessarily had to open up more cap space, but it is possible that they did. But I haven't seen any details on the contract personally. But if they're out there, yeah, I mean, definitely send them over. I want to go to this real quick, though, because we do have 2 clips. Just to put into context what I'm saying here. So this was Minnesota last season, right? And here were 2 plays that stuck out to me. And I was going into this to watch for Donovan Peoples-Jones. And Peoples-Jones, just watching him routes, he saw the impact. But if we just look at this game, and let me take myself off to put myself down here. This was one example. So you can see the defensive look. Everybody's on the line of scrimmage. And they did this over and over against the LA Rams, just stacking the line of scrimmage, manning up one-on-one on the outside, and they would drop out. So they'd have like certain linebackers drop into the hole, right? Drop in his zone underneath. Defensive tackle drops out. And there was one, I remember he threw it right to the defender. Like he dropped out, Goff threw it directly at him, and it was picked off. That's the kind of, that's what they were doing to him. All of a sudden you go to this game, and I kind of cut it off a little bit, so I apologize, but he made a check at the line before, and you can see they're showing 0 coverage here, cover 0. Goff makes a check. Now they're going cover 0 here. And instead of going middle of the field, he actually goes to the out route in the slot to Khalif Raymond, checks to this look, gets him one-on-one, throws it on time, pass protection all gets picked up, which, hey, good credit to our offensive line there. And bam, you convert. So that's the first example, right? They want to bring the blitz. Second one, just like this, both off-ball linebackers. They're going to show blitz. They're going to go 5 deep here. And then as you can see, Goff getting the ball quickly to a playmaker. And then just because, to show a little bit of J-Mo, being, J-Mo, come on. I mean, hey, J-Mo did some good last year, bro. I think if you just looked at numbers, it'd be easy to overlook how legit Jamison Williams actually, like some of the flashes that he put out there were like, yo, hold up. This guy looked pretty awesome. Don't, I just don't. Okay. As a percentage of Goff's contract, it's not much more. Yeah. There you go. I mean, I would assume that it won't be. Yeah, that's a really good point. So we'll have to see where the actual cap numbers, but yeah, I think if you went off projections, I don't know exactly how Spot Track does it. I probably should have looked into that. I would assume, most years is like 10 to 15 million, but it could take an even bigger jump than that. But yeah, if you also just assume that, to your point, like Goff was making $50 million per season, what was that percentage? We had that. If he was making, I think we had that for last year. Let me see if it was on this chart. I thought I put that in here. So if he was making 50 million, dang, did I not put that on here? I thought I did. Maybe I just don't know where I put it. 31%, 45 mil of cap. Oh, okay. Okay. So this would have been $45 million, according to what SpotTrack is projecting the cap's going to be, which is also not including any rollover money we have. And it's also just a projected number because we don't know where the cap's actually going to go. What their projected number is for next season, a $45 million cap, it would be 16.4% of that. So I assume the Lions also are not setting that way. The cap also could jump higher. It seemed like SpotTrack had pretty conservative numbers that they were projecting. But it also, I would assume the Lions aren't going to have a $45 million cap next season. They could. I mean, it's going to be 53 a year generally, but I'm assuming it's going to be much more backloaded than that. What sort of message would we have sent if we did extend Goff? That's actually a really good point. That's actually a really good way to look at it. I mean, the guy earned it. And I think right before we ended the live stream, the last time we were on here, the idea of not just that you're a plus player or not just that you're a good starter. It's about growing. It's about improving. It's about taking strides. It's about continuing to earn that role where I'm not constantly saying, well, can we get better here? Can we get a guy that actually could improve in this role? And I think there were certain positions, maybe last year, the Lions felt like we can get someone that can improve here. On the flip side, you can't say that about Goff because, like I just showed an example, that's an example of his improvement, right? The numbers don't necessarily bear that out unless you look at the blitz stats, maybe. But you can just see it when you watch it. So let me go back to the original clip here. Just keep getting context to see what we're going to go into next year. I don't know if more talents the Reynolds they have a complete. Absolutely, I think so too. Oh, this is a different question. My man said, you guys talk about DPJ. Be better to be determined. Yeah, that it's still an interesting one because even afterwards, right, we're told that even afterwards, you know, at that time, it was like, yo, we want to bring this guy back. He's still a priority. And then it doesn't happen. But I will say, like, what I was looking for is just kind of trying to see the usage of Josh. And obviously the Rams game he took off. We know certain games that he didn't, like Carolina, he didn't have a reception. But then also, if you look towards the end of the year, there were real games where he really wasn't like, when you watch what he was utilized for offensively, obviously San Fran's not a great example because he has some drops. But like there's certain moments where you're like, okay, we could probably get that out of someone else here specifically. I'm telling you, Dose, J-Mo will lead the league in receiving yards this season by a lot. Yo, if that's the case, if he's leading the league in receiving yards with St. Brown, oh my, Goff's going for 5K. What's up, everybody? Just got done triggering Ohio State fans. Okay. Not mad at that. Okay, here we go. Reynolds lines up all over. Bad blocks, great. Hey, and so does DPJ, man. He's a big blocking piece, man.
Letdown kind of game against a team like Miami that gets after you. They blitz all the time, and he doesn't really know where to go with the football. Even though this quarterback coming out of college was great with pressure in his face. He was great at throwing while taking the hit, but it's still the understanding of, okay, they're doing this. Where do I need to get to with the ball?
So that's just, and again, this was something that we were talking about 2 years ago. So this was 2 or 3 years ago now, right? We were talking about kind of the same thing that I'm literally showing you an example of. So I don't think there's a better way to put it in context, saying that there's this, he needs to improve here. We saw it in college, and now we can point to years later, Goff gets an extension. I can show you clips of him against the same defensive coordinator that gave him nightmares in that game, and both times he handles business extremely well and wins the division in their house. I don't think we can do much better.
Interceptions, a couple turnovers, turn the ball over too much. McVay's frustrated, and to me, that led to a big part of the relationship issue because to the point there, he wanted to play the backup. Goff doesn't play last game of the season, so they have to put Wolford in there. Wolford wins the game 18-7.
Oh,
it wasn't pretty by any means. The first pass was like less than 200 yards, but it wasn't bad. And to that, McVay just won. He's like, yeah, he's going to play the backup quarterback to the point where McVay didn't even wait until they saw the results of Jared Goff's thumb injury, where he had to have screws put in for that week, trying to get himself back for the playoffs, thinking that, hey, I can get myself back, I can be ready to go, I can play through this. He's like, nope, this guy's our starter, without even figuring out where Jared Goff was at. He already listed him as a starter, but you knew Goff was healthy enough because he had him active as the backup. He just wanted to play the backup. Issue for McVay was crazy. In that game, that quarterback gets hurt early, neck injury, he has to go out, he has to put in Goff. Goff goes in, wins the game against Seattle, but it's just as simple as understanding it, getting my feet under me. He had very quick feet, slide up in the pass rush. Again, look at the St. Brown throw. When he knew where St. Brown was going to be, he avoided the pressure like it was nothing. It looked like college Jared Goff.
Go to this slot corner. Okay, so I just wanted to let that play out because I couldn't remember what I said in there, to be honest with you. So this is why this is perfect. This is why I'm showing you all this. So again, I pulled this from this video after the 2021 season because what I was doing to make this video, I was watching back 2021 and just kind of come to my conclusion, giving thoughts on the Goff situation and this specific play. Like I can remember watching this. I remember this game. I remember this exact like kind of setup we were doing. And I was like, yo, this was pretty fire. Look at this clip, and I'm gonna flip it to a San Fran, and you tell me you don't see that. Like, I don't know how to explain. Okay, I'm just going to let it play real quick.
Cornerback playing outside leverage. Linebackers pass off from Amon-Ra St. Brown, who motions to the right side of the field, and they're going to run this little two-man game.
This may be 2022. It's 2021 or 2022. No, this is 2021.
Linebackers pass off from Amon-Ra St. Brown, who motions to the right side of the field, and they're going to run this little two-man game with St. Brown and Brock Ray. I love this. So you get this three-step drop. Watch his eyes. You see how he holds the opposite side linebacker, pulls him out of the zone. As soon as he comes out of his break, steps into it on time, on target. This is one of the best passes I think he threw. Jared Goff has to recognize the outside receiver here. Josh Reynolds is going to get this one-on-one, which usually declares as a vertical route, so he's going to have to pick up in man, which is why the double move is so tough. I just love the play designs we had the entire second half.
Yo, like, this was like, okay, so I didn't save the whole video, but bro, this may end up being like one of my most accurate videos ever, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm watching this thing back, and like the plays that I was showing, like these plays and the ones versus college, and like this, like sliding in the pocket like this, like the first game that Josh Reynolds was there, 45-yard touchdown on the double move to Josh Reynolds. I feel like this aged so well because this is who we know Jared Goff now as. Like what the Lions essentially did was they took like these flash moments, these highlights that we had from a small sample size and a strong finish for Goff when he got Josh Reynolds in. The offensive line got a little bit more healthy, even though we didn't have Frank, but Taylor Decker came back for the most part. Like this was the example of these flashes now coming together. We're seeing them just more consistent because these same big plays you're seeing are basically the same way that Goff creates big plays now. The special plays that Goff creates are essentially the exact same thing with different players that we see now.
So creative, but the entire time the Goff has to look the safety off, hold it left,
the quality
come back
is garbage,
to open up this one-on-one, take the hit. He doesn't even really see the route. These are the types of throws that we weren't seeing early in the season.
For the beginning of the year, and then checking it down to my tight end. That should not be a thing. We did that at the beginning of the season. We ran routes where guys weren't even looking for the ball. They would just run off their guy and set up a check down. That should.
Yo, no, this is my favorite part of the video, bro. This is my favorite part because I remember this every week. Dog, every week, bro. For the first half of that season, 2021 was rough, man. I remember, we went to hey, shout out to Mike Banks, man. We went to the what game was that? Dang, I remember what game it was. Okay, it was a rough one. But the point is, I can remember watching these games back, and the amount of times you would see the Lions do exactly what I'm saying, where they would essentially take every receiver and run vertically, and it was basically like, okay, you're running off to set something else underneath, and that was the entire play design. It was like run everybody off. And then check it out. Hey, now the Ravens game was solid. Second half was good. It was the first half, I think it was 10-0, but we did our thing. We did go to the Ravens game though. You're right. We went to the Ravens game. I went with that with my dad. We went to the Bengals game. Me and Michael Banks went to the Bengals game. The amount of times the Lions did this, and even in that game, you're right, the Ravens game, like a lot of it was DeAndre Swift. He took over the game. It was everything underneath. But it was also for the same reason that you're pointing out, like the Lions' inability in pass protection, their terrible receiving unit. Yo, do y'all remember that, like, coming into that 2021 season, as many, like, things as that we're saying now about the Lions receivers, it was, like, widely recognized that the Lions had the worst receiving core in the NFL heading into that 2021 season. Like, that was the talk is, Lions had the worst receiving core in football. I didn't even remember that until I found a clip of me showing the graph of the receivers that we had. And then also me saying on another clip that may actually be in here that we were told that the Lions had the worst receiving core. Tyrell Williams, Rashad Perriman, who didn't end up making the team. I thought he would. He didn't. He had a rough preseason. Like the stage that the Lions were in then versus where they are now. And honestly, like now, right? Okay, I would not have an issue with another outside receiver either. But if we did compare it, St. Brown, the second half season, he broke out. The first half season, we didn't really see much of him. And I'm actually going to talk about that, I think, in one of these clips, is St. Brown moving out wide. And I give credit to Ben Johnson, which, again, this is why I think this video aged so well, because it was like, Ben Johnson did become amazing. So this was actually perfect. But I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, no. So the receiving core was a mess, man. Tyrell Williams, Rashad Perriman, St. Brown came along in the second season. If you compare that now, like where the Lions are at, a 12th pick in the draft in Jameson, St. Brown now being St. Brown now, which is growing, improving, one of the best receivers in football. I think he's top 5 for the Lions. Sam Laporta, at that time it was TJ Hawkinson, so TJ was solid. He wasn't Sam Laporta, and he also did miss some time. We had Quintez Cephas for a little bit, right? Not the entire season, because he went out against Minnesota. It was like week 5, then he was just done. I mean, up to that point, he was popping, and then it was just like he's gone. So it was still like there's still like gaps to where the Lions were at. Guys who are just average in their prime. Why do you think we all watch you, brother? You see the curve. Hey, not always, but I appreciate you, man. I think this is fire to revisit this, man, because it's kind of like a trip down memory lane. Like all the questions that we had about this, and now here we are sitting here talking about Goff being the highest paid Lion ever. It's actually beautiful. It really is beautiful to see how. I think we should embrace the situation that the Lions are in. Truly, like, let's not overlook how amazing this is, that we can look back in the past with all these questions, now be able to sit here today and say, man, these questions were answered. We just went to the NFC Championship game and this guy's getting paid. It is amazing how this all happened. And all those draft picks hit. Oh, did I say my son last Sunday came over with his girlfriend and broke the news to me that I'm going to be a grant? The truth. That's amazing. Hey, can we get some birthday cakes in the chat? I know. Hey, get some birthday cakes in the chat for my guy. Let's get some dance pop going. This was the wrong beat selection. I'm sorry. That ruined the vibe. I don't really. Oh, here we go. We love to hear that, man. That's amazing. It's amazing. Hey, Cephas got snagged though. I like Cephas too, man. Okay, the birthday cakes are here. I appreciate it. All right, let me let's figure out where we left off here, because it's gonna get pretty funny here, I think, in a second. Okay.
Shouldn't be the thing next year. The reason I think it thrive, but it's the same answer from Brad Holmes that has not changed. He believes that Jared.
This is old, bro. So this is what I'm saying. Like slowly, the background just starts to go away. I don't know what I had written on that whiteboard. I'm not gonna lie. I have Kamara. If y'all were ever wondering what's on my whiteboard right now says Kamara from Muhammad Kamara from Colorado State, and I wrote it on the back of one of my homework pages. So it says back. It's written on the back. I don't know why that's still up there. This one, I don't know what it is. The hair, the hair look kind of fire in this one. Some of the other ones, it looks crazy. This one looks solid. You see the tape in the background. That looks good. We still got the little, I think I do for a minute here. We got a lot of similar stuff here. Darius Slay's hand's a little jacked up. I think, his is a little, we got the little Logic Tech. Yeah. Look, bro, this is probably a different camera. I look like a chia pet. Okay. Dang. All right. Hey, I had the lights. I drew fake lights on the whiteboard. Okay. The Spielman's back there. What? Anyway.
Goff. He's not a stopgap. He's not a bridge. He believes Jared Goff be the future.
This was great. So I found myself
saying the thing next year.
This was an actual quote from Brad Holmes that I was reading off for this show. This is what he said.
The reason I think it thrive, but it's the same answer from Brad Holmes that has not changed. He believes that Jared Goff, he's not a stopgap. He's not a bridge. He believes Jared Goff be the future of this team.
Back's pretty average.
Okay. Why did it open to that? All right, that's the look, bro. I was giving credit though there to Brad Holmes because Brad's been saying it, and that's proof he was saying it. Because I made a video about Brad Holmes saying what he said, which is Jared Goff's not a stopgap quarterback. So when I found that, I was like, no. But hey, y'all, when when y'all hear what gets said here, you're gonna understand his face. You will be making the same exact face when you hear what's said here. I'm gonna let y'all lock in because I thought this was just funny. I'm like, I gotta put this in there. You guys will feel the exact same way. I'm gonna let this roll. Here you go.
Jared Goff. He's not a stopgap. He's not a bridge. He believes Jared Goff be the future of this team.
Back's pretty average. That's it. Their running backs top 5. Their tight end, I think, is top 5ers. Line.
Okay, that was actually terrible context. So if you didn't hear what he said, he basically was making the point that the Lions offense was average. This was again coming off that first season. And I did this full reaction to this, and I was like, oh, the mainstream is wrong. That would be a hey, I'm not even that could be my X pick. My hold on, that sounds kind of crazy. That would be a good pick on X. So he said the Lions offense basically, this was okay. Hold myself back. I'm confused myself. Dan Campbell said this, and I forgot that he said this. Maybe y'all remember. Dan Campbell said you don't need an elite quarterback. That was the headline. Dan Campbell's like, yo, you don't need an elite quarterback to win the Super Bowl in this league, basically. I think that's what it was. And this was after 2021, I believe. And so this was an episode where he was basically bashing the Lions because they say they don't need an elite quarterback. So he was basically saying that, like, one, you have to have an elite quarterback. That's all that matters, basically, which, again, then there's the discrepancies of like how he actually views Goff, because that was all over the place. But then here he said that at the time it was DeAndre Swift was a top 5 running back. Boom, my face immediately went to that. No disrespect, but like, okay, I'm gonna let that play first.
Top 5. Their tight end, I think, is top 5ers. Line, Penei Sewell, they got 2 good tackles.
Look at that. Wow, hey, we got 2 good tackles. What are you talking about? We do have 2 good tackles. Decker didn't even play half the season. The guy missed the entire first half of the season and still missed some games in the second half of the season.
2 touchdowns for every pick.
You know what's weird?
Okay, so you think Jared Goff's a bridge quarterback? Hey, yo, that's perfect. Bro, no, that's actually perfect. That would look good. That would look good. Quarterback needs to do his job. Hey, I like that. So, hey, that would be fire. So,
and still,
I was mad that he wasn't giving any context to this, to the situation. But this next one,
missed some games in the second half of the season.
2 touchdowns.
I remember this one because this was basically what I did is I pulled clips because, again, he was saying that Goff was average, and every time he would speak on Goff, and this was after that first season, he kept like making it worse and worse. Like, yo, he ain't that dude, basically. So then I ended up pulling clips from what he thought of Goff when he was with LA, like my saying he's a politician. It's like what he thought when he was in LA, when he was in a good team. And like we just laid out, like, I will admit, I believe that a lot of it was about the supporting cast in LA. There is no way I would take Jared Goff from LA in any of those seasons versus the Jared Goff that I could get right now. He is a much better player. And the Minnesota example is a easy example, I think, to point to of that. So I ended up pulling a clip from how he, I didn't show the clip in here, but like, he really liked Jared Goff when he was in LA. Then he went to Detroit and it was like, bam, we're dropping this dude. But it wasn't giving context to the situation he was in. So I'll let this roll for a minute.
For every pick.
You know what's weird? And still
this clip I'm about to show, this is actually a clip from him speaking on Jared Goff when he was in LA. This is what he said about Jared Goff when he was in LA. So this is before the lines. This is what he said about it. This is why I was upset about the context that was being given, because my goodness, the NFL is a team sport. It's a team sport, man. It's like the quarterback wins thing. Like, yeah, they are a big part of it, bro. And Goff's done his job there, but bro, it's a team sport, man. Anyway,
missed some games in the second half of the season.
2 touchdowns for every pick.
You know what's weird? That hasn't changed. Actually, last season, but people want to get on from last year. If you're just going on based on Collins saying last season he was a 67% completion guy. He had a better than 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio, and he was a 90s passer rating. Where's Goff at?
See, so what I was saying is his statistics were basically the same, if not better, still in 2021. And then also, if we're just going off numbers, and then here, this was when Goff went to the Lions. So this was before 2021, and you can see, and this is what happens. All of a sudden, Matthew Stafford, and I'll show the other clip where he had Stafford ranked as a 3rd-tier quarterback. I think I show that. Now he's all of a sudden the top 7 quarterback, and it's not just him. Most people will say this. Stafford's an elite quarterback now, or they'll put him like right on the edge of that, which most people weren't saying before he left. But to the Goff point, Goff wasn't on the list after he got sent to Detroit. So it's also kind of rubbing this in the face, not just of what Goff has done, but also in a sense of like what the Lions have done to the perspective that everybody had. Like, they've kind of just like, boom, slammed it right back in their face. Like, yeah, every time we would add a player, all of a sudden it's like their value just dropped. That's just how it was looked. It was like, oh, that guy, he's not the same. He ain't the same. But this year we were able to kind of be like, not now. Hey, now we're hearing it. Now it's the opposite. Now it's like, yo, Lions are a Super Bowl contender. Hold up. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, he's not there anymore. Okay. Understand situations important. And he tells me that he understands situations important. But the point is, you have to take situation into account. It's like you're throwing situation completely out the window. Like, it's almost like he's trying to argue, well, hey, running game, you just need a great quarterback. Nope. Nope, that's not how it works. I completely forgot. Frank Ragnow didn't play. Oh, no, he was there for the first couple of games. Frank Ragnow missed the majority, most of the season.
It sounds like Dan Campbell says it, and he's just like, look, Got a lot of problems.
So I'll let this play because this is the last clip that's part of this. Man said not very team friendly. So the only thing we'll have to keep an eye on here, because based on that initial number, it definitely doesn't sound team friendly. And I don't know if you have the details or not. The one thing that, again, we have to keep an eye on here, though, is still how is the contract set up? Because most would argue Jalen Hurts took an extremely team friendly deal, and he's making $51 million per year, which is essentially the same because he also got it before Goff. But did he get that last year? He got that last year, so it's actually pretty big because we know it's all about timing. And most people view his deal as very team friendly because his cap hits are set. Like his cap numbers, this is Jalen Hurts' cap numbers, getting $51 million per year on a 5-year deal. 2024, 13.5, 2025, 21.7, 2026 is 31.7. That's still lower than what Goff's is, I believe, for this season. Then it goes to 41, then 47, which is going to be extremely low. None of his cap percentages are set. That was hot. None of Jalen Hurts' upcoming cap percentages by over the cap's projections are actually higher than what Jared Goff's cap percentage was last season. And then it's the void year, which is $97 million. So they believe it was set very contract friendly in the sense of none of it's actually going to take effect because there's no base salary on any of his deal. And then it's at the end, they put a huge void year on there, which will probably come around where he hits 30 and they'll want to extend him again. And they'll fold that into the new contract. So depending on how it's set up, it could be pretty team friendly, but I would say like, I don't want to say this because it sounds like it's kind of like just a after the fact situation, but like truly like 53, 49, whatever number it was, could this deal have been done where he takes $40 million per year? Like, was that really like a possibility? Like we'll see how it's set up. I think that's the key, but it's 6 ties to guaranteed money right now. We still have multiple quarterbacks that have to get paid after this. I mean, maybe that drops down to 9 or 10. So I don't know. Like, it's all about the timing, man. Fitzpatrick clearly jealous of Goff. Wait, whoa, what did Fitzpatrick say? See, now we're going to have to dive. Oh, remember Fitzpatrick said he's a poor man, right? Oh, no, you're right. You're right. And then he addressed that, though. Shout out to Goff. He took that thing head on. But this is the last one, and this was the majority, most of the season.
Sounds like Dan Campbell.
So this, okay, I don't know what this is from. Oh, no, this is before the 2021 season. So we're just going further back. I think this was what's this? I think it was before 20. No, this would have been before 2022 because this was the Aiden Hutchinson draft pick. We had the 2 pick in the draft. There was talk about Malik Willis, talk about quarterback. And this is basically what Dan Campbell was saying. And I was kind of relaying what he was saying. And it included Goff in this whole conversation.
He's just like, look, we got a lot of problems. We got a lot of things that we need to improve upon. Chasing quarterback is not going to fix those problems.
Show yourself to the door.
Oh, wait, bro. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. That was not okay. That was a good. And that's what Dan Campbell did. This, and I was showing number 2 picks. This was like, this was the ending, hey, chat, I'm wrong on takes too. So straight up, like there's a lot of things that you could do the same thing to be on, go for it. But this was like a, right back at you kind of thing, because look at the headline. And I'm kind of blocking it, which stinks. Teams don't need elite quarterback. And this is what basically his take was on that situation. Listen to this, bro. Hey,
show yourself to the door. If that's how you're viewing things, it's not that difficult. Football's hard. It's not.
Yeah. So I guess if you don't have a mobile quarterback, you're done. You're done. Show yourself to the door, Dan. You don't have a mobile quarterback. Hey, yo, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, bro. They made everybody look crazy. They made people look crazy, man. He said, show yourself to the door. Oh my. Hey, 3 years later, they made everybody look crazy. Now this dude thinks we're a Super Bowl contender, bro. That's what he was saying then. Oh my gosh. That's actually crazy. That's why this is like it's like one of those moments to like, bro, was it rejoice? Is that the right word as a Lions fan? We came such a long way. Facts, man. And it's happened so fast. Like we can sit there and be like, yo, look at what people were saying, man. And there was a clip of it wasn't a clip of me and Brad were talking about. There was head coach rankings, which I found as well. Dan Campbell is ranked the 32nd. Dan Campbell is ranked the 32nd head coach in the NFL. He was ranked 32. And now it's like, what? It is a full circle moment. It's exactly that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And that's why we had to do this. His first year didn't look. It didn't until the second half, man. It really didn't. It was like, oh, what's going on here? It was like, bro. Now, I will say they were competitive. Like, there were things that you loved. Like, I love the aggressiveness, but it wasn't looking great because we just weren't winning. We were close in certain games. We just weren't winning. And then the second half of the season, I mean, truly, by the end of the second half of the season, I think Dan Campbell was way more on the hot seat, or there was more questions about Dan at the beginning of the second season than there was in the first season. Because in the first season, the expectations were already low, but then there was also the aspect that the second half of the season, we finished strong, changing a head coach. He was calling plays, and I think we all stepped back like, yo, we are on the up and up. I mean, we beat the heck out of the Cardinals, who were good. We beat the Packers, even though Rodgers played the first half, but we were up at halftime. And then it was the second half. It was the second season because the Lions started off like 1-4, 1-5, or 1-6. I think we were. That was the one that I think brought questions, and obviously they flipped the script on that one. But yeah. Now Coward kissing the Lions backside. Hey, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. All right, now this is what I want to do because he did keep us inspired. He did, bro. And now it's like looking back on it, man. Incredible. He's been incredible, man. He's been incredible for the Lions. He was the perfect guy to change this all around. Again, give credit to Sheila, man, because she spotted this. She spotted the guy that was going to be able to align the Lions to flipping everything that we knew about them historically. And I think this right here, not this play. This is what I wanted to do. So I went through the San Fran game, as I told y'all. I was like, okay, I was watching for something else, but then I was going through it. I'm watching Goff, man. And I think, again, if we were like, okay, well, how did he perform in the playoffs? So we know he performed well against the Rams. He performed really well. He literally missed, I think, really like one legitimate throw. Maybe he missed more than one throw, but like one really big throw. And then the next drive, he came back and sealed the deal with the ball in his hands. So he played really well against the Rams. Tampa Bay, he handled business. And then all of it, and it was better than the first time we played him because we also opened up the run game. And then he played San Fran, and he missed a couple passes. What can he improve on? Number one, the little touch pass in the second level, like to Sam Laporta, kind of dialing that into a guy that's maybe not as fast, that doesn't separate upfield. I think even some of those routes, Laporta can kind of maybe adapt how he runs those based on like the defenders underneath. Let me push up a little bit further on the play. That way I can actually really separate and not stick so much to this is the route, it's how it's supposed to be ran. Let me get outside of the scheduling a little bit. And also, he missed the one to Gibbs in the back of the end zone. He missed one into the flat. But I just want to show you all a couple throws from this game. And this was like mainly the second half. Just look at some of the throws from this one. I'm watching these and I'm like, yo, these were pretty awesome. Like, not everyone was caught, but these throws were pretty big time. This is a huge third down conversion. And I think the better angle actually does it more justice here. Hey, I'm telling y'all, look, you don't have to count this one as a no-look. Goff had some no-looks last year. And I can show you absolute no-looks last year. The little touchdown he had in the back of the end zone. This one also looks like a little bit of a no-look. Like, at very least, holding defenders, which, again, I have more clips saved. I won't go through them. But, like, of us saying, like, hey, if you keep Goff on scheme, on schedule, go back to do this if you want. Go back to the videos that we did when we first traded for Goff, before we played a snap as the Lions and we were watching him with the Rams, and the takeaways were, we're saying the same thing. Like, and that's the crazy thing. It's like, that's why I start with that Bears clip where I'm like, it's the same Goff. He's the same successfully in the same situation. The Lions have done a great job of establishing that, and Goff has done a great job of improving that consistency within those spots. And they've essentially just improved the consistency of being the same guy. But look at this one, man. This one's beautiful. On a big third down here. I mean, he was making some things happen with some heat. And this is where the numbers get kind of messed up, because I put the numbers together of like under pressure of I think I used the San Fran game, and they weren't great. But when you watch a lot of these, like, these would be counted as under pressure. A lot of them, we just didn't catch the football. But like this one, yo, look where his eyes are with Fred Warner here. I'm watching that. I'm like, that was actually nasty. Like, who is this dude? And he ripped that one too. That was probably one of the hardest throws that Goff had all year. No, hey, bro, he ripped that thing. And the eye movement, bro, he was playing real comfy. Look at the swagger about this. Doesn't this feel like some swagger here? This one is just fire. This one is just fire. I'm gonna be honest. This one just looks fire. Like, okay, watch this too. Now watch. We're about to nitpick. You see him looking off Dre Greenlaw here, 57, holding him. They're not in the same coverage, but earlier in the season, we showed this in the last stream. We showed the Packers play where he threw the pick, right? Like, first drive of the game. And he tried to hold the flat defender and come back middle, and he came back late, but he didn't hold the flat defender aggressively enough or not long enough. And the flat defender floated up, and he's the guy that picked it off. He shouldn't have been there. In Madden, he wouldn't have been there. He would have covered his guy, and he would have taken it away. But it's real life. Guys can move around. They have instincts. And instinctually, he dropped off his route and picked it off. Look at the aggression that Goff holds Dre Greenlaw with here. Look at this. That's some aggression, man. He gets to the top of his drop, still holding it. Then when he plants, he sticks and fires. I think looking off Dre Greenlaw a little bit. And then you see the Jamison Williams speed in the back end where he's pulling the safety out of the play. He's supposed to be down here, and he's ripping it. I'm like, yo, that pass was beautiful. That was a huge third down conversion. I think this was the one for Josh that was incomplete. But again, it's not about the result necessarily. It was just about the game that Goff was playing. Because like this is the big moment. Look at the pressure off the edge here. Decker's beat. Okay, this should be a sack. Look at this. Bro, what are we talking about, man? We know this one should have been a catch. But I'm just saying, I mean, what, bro, these are some good plays. These are some big-time plays. Okay, we'll run it back. Look at this one. This was a drop by Laporta. Y'all remember this like I do, because I kind of forgot what happened. It was it was hard to watch this because the amount of mistakes we made. Back-to-back plays. Sam Laporta's going to drop this. Next play, Josh Reynolds going to drop it, and we have to punt. That's mixed in with, I think it was the drive before or after, where Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled on the first play, and they were set up to score. And it was also after the off the helmet from Kendall Vilder, essentially turning into a touchdown to Brandon Ayuk. Like, all I'm saying is our team not only deserved to be here, but if you're just looking at like the fact that we lost, you got to like really look at it, because this team was freaking good, man. This team, I don't care what nobody, this team was Super Bowl worthy last season. They didn't do it. And that's something that you have to learn from as players. But my goodness, back to that Chicago clip when I said, hey, after that Bears game, when things were bleak, the hate was coming out. Easy had me on the show, man. They're like, yo, your boy Goff, what's going on? And I was like, man, look, I'm not selling my stock. All right. He will not be the reason that we don't get to where we want to be. And I'll tell you what, you cannot watch this game back and tell me he was the reason that we didn't get to where we wanted to be. And honestly, this is a pretty good spot to be anyway. But look at this one. Why did that stop being full screen? 1 second. Let me make sure it's full screen. All right, here we go. This is one thing I love, man. Just getting to like the third reads. Maybe not this one exactly. This may have been the second one. But yeah, no JMO sliding in the pocket. Look at the pressure, bro. You can feel it. He can feel Nick Bosa on him. Boom. Fit that in a window. Bam. Laporta doesn't catch it. Now we expect Laporta to catch these. He doesn't drop many passes. But like, okay. And this next one was just easy. This next one was just easy money. We just didn't catch it. We punted that drive because of that. Like, yo, we have what we need. Now to raise the spirits back up from a man that's saying Jamo's going to lead the league in receptions, there's part of me that thinks we need to do a Jamison Williams video. Like, there's only so much time, but like at least a stream or something. Like, give this man more attention, because some of these plays, man, I'll show a bad one too. But like, this was beautiful. I remember this one so well. This one's beautiful. The pass a little bit behind here, right? He's kind of moving away from the pressure. Put it a little bit behind him. Jamo just gets through the dang route so darn fast. I mean, he's just flying to separate. He's flying. It's like a video game. But that catch was excellent. And then this one on the flea flicker, this one Jameson didn't catch. But look at the ball, man. Like, again, this is a touchdown. And then obviously this one, again, just to give more love for Jamo, because this was nice too. But look at this, man. Look at the decisiveness. The little pump fake. What? The pump fake? And then back in the end zone? And then Jamo doing his thing, just ripping it out of the air. I think that was a good little bow on how the season ended. We deserved to lose that game because of mistakes. Now, this is true. This is true. But this team was capable. And I should say, the players that we have are capable of doing that, are capable of getting there. But you're right. We made way too many mistakes. We didn't play a championship-worthy game. But we definitely had the personnel to do so. We need Lions vs. 49ers week 1. I'm getting hype. Yo, hey, I was saying, I was like, yo, let me put these clips together, because this is kind of fire. That drop changed momentum. Yo, and it was like over and over and over. It's like we literally can't have something that doesn't. I mean, we just had nothing go our way, especially in the second half. Now, how would be a good replace for Jamo if he gets injured again? How tall is Miko? He's like 5'11", something like that. Now, I would expect the Lions are going to add a receiver at some point. Now, it may be not as big of a deal as maybe we're thinking. Right, I saw someone in here put in Michael Gallup. It might be more of like a under the radar kind of deal, or like a small little trade or something like that Brad typically does. Maybe something like that. But I would assume they'll add another piece at some point, maybe like right during the preseason, something like that. But I really do think that they like Peoples Jones. He does bring a much different skill set, and I think in certain ways it's going to help him. But I also think they like Antoine Green, man. And if they really do believe Antoine Green showed in his reps, like, yo, there's some route running here. I thought everything else in college, like, he checked to a sufficient level, whether that was tracking the football downfield. Once the ball got in his hands in general were fine. Like, you said Gallup, that was you, Zach. Okay, yeah. And maybe they do that. They have the money. I mean, Jamo breaking out would put us over the edge. and he's going to get all the opportunity in the world. He's going to get all the opportunity in the world. And I think that's a huge reason also why the Miami Lions didn't make a big push in free agency to this point, is because they believe in giving guys opportunities. Like, hey, we invested in you. We believe in you. This is a legitimate investment. You're going to get the ball. Like, we're not, I always use the Levi as an example, but like, they didn't immediately just replace Levi, even though it was like, man, we haven't really seen him yet. They're like, yo, he's going to have a role. He's going to have an opportunity. Now this year he's got to earn it. Like, they brought in Kyle Pecco after last season. It's like, yo, you better earn it now. Like, you got to go win it in training camp. Cause now if you're healthy again, you're coming off of playing last season. So now it's like, yo, you got to go earn it. And I'm cool with that. But before that, it was, you had a role, you had a spot. We weren't just going to place someone over top of you. We were going to give you an opportunity to show what you could do. And we can't sleep on a healthy Khalif. I know, bro. Khalif's the one guy I always overlook. But man, Khalif is a dog, and the fact that he can play everywhere. Okay, so let's do this to wrap up. Have you made a 53 roster? I have not. No, I haven't. I think we're actually doing one this month for Bleacher Report. So that'll probably be my first. I think we're doing a depth chart. I don't know if it's gonna be 53 or not. It'll probably be a 53. But I haven't done one officially yet. But oh man, it is about that time, huh? It's getting close. Please do a JMO vid. See, y'all are feeling that. I think we could do a JMO vid in shorter fashion because there's less clips. So it doesn't have to be as long as some of our other ones. Because I want to get this Terry-on one out. But I think a JMO video might be necessary. It might be necessary. All right. So this is the over-under win totals. If these are incorrect, I apologize. I guess it probably also depends on what mark you go through. This is through BetMGM, I think. So I don't want to go through necessarily all of these. I just put these on here as kind of examples, but I honestly believe this. So let me know where y'all are at. I just want to hit a couple specifically. Let's start with the NFC North. Anyone significant you think we could drop? I don't think we can roster 4 tight ends. No, I wouldn't think so either. So then it's going to be Shane Zylstra. Brock Wright's probably making it, or James Mitchell. It's probably going to come down to one of those two. We also brought in, a nice little tight end there in Isaac Rex. Probably not going to make the team, but he can pass protect. But with Brock Wright, probably not. But honestly, no, look, I would say probably Shane. Shane probably just doesn't make the team. I'm a James Mitchell guy personally, though, but Shane did a lot of good things, so that'll be an awesome camp battle. What's up, Apollo? Next video idea is the prediction of who not named the Lions could be a dark horse team. Hey, yo, for real? Hey, you're a Steelers guy, right? The truth? Watch this. And I wrote this down in my notes, so this isn't just like me saying this live. For me, where's Steelers at? Where they put the Steelers? Oh, this is easy money. This is one of the most easy money ones. 7.5 for Pittsburgh. I feel like that's free money. Like, Pittsburgh is probably gonna have a winning record. There's a very good chance. So 7.5, easy. Definitely taking the over. Shane might go elsewhere and be a tight end too. I mean, yeah, depending on what you're looking for. He can pass catch. He might just have limitations as a blocker. He was good though. With Goff especially. Like, he really took off. Zylstra go to Cardinals. He'd be what tight end? Well, they added Sanders, right? So they have Sanders and McBride, maybe tight end 3. He'd be a tight end 3 somewhere. I believe that. So I'm gonna go there. That's the over for me on that one. I love that one. I want to start with the NFC North though. I'm gonna put these out there. Y'all tell me I'm crazy or if you're like I agree. Okay. Bam. Bam. And what I put? Ooh, see, I don't know about this last one. I'm gonna be honest. This is what I put, but I don't know how good I feel about it. Y'all let me know. So I got Green Bay under 9.5. I got Green Bay under 9.5. Some of that may be too much bias on how I think we're gonna match up with them. I think they could legit take a step back. I didn't love their draft, though I like some of their picks. I think Edgerrin Cooper could be really good, especially for their defense. I think they do really well with linebackers. I think that'll be really, really well there. Kind of like Javon Bullard a little bit. I think that'll help, especially with defense, because he's smart. He's extremely smart to play multiple spots. He'll take the football away. So you have that. You get flexibility. He's not Brian Branch to me. Like, I don't see that. So I was on their draft. They had a lot of safeties, which usually when they're safeties, if they got dudes there, they can be a problem. They added Jordan Morgan, which I think could play left tackle, but their offense line was already solid last year. I think Green Bay takes a step back. Like, someone in this division, if you had to say who's going to take a step back, Minnesota's probably the easy answer. but they weren't that great last year. I think Green Bay takes the step back, man. I really do. Like I don't think this is I'm really trying not to make this bias at all. I just think 9.5 is high. I think we saw Jordan Love go crazy, and it may continue. They have a great offensive coordinator. He's good off schedule. But to me, man, I don't think they're going to be the same, bro. So I'm dropping Green Bay because I'm moving Chicago up. Right now, at this current moment, I have Chicago above Green Bay in terms of standings. How I think they'll finish, I'd take Chicago over Green Bay. I think, to what my man said earlier, Chicago's defense is one of the best in football. They know exactly what they are. Their head coach is defensive-centric. That shouldn't drop anywhere. They have good cornerback play. They have top-tier linebacker play. And then this season, offensively, they've gotten real additions there. Now, long-term, I don't know about Caleb Williams, but he'll be better than Justin Fields because I wasn't a big Justin Fields guy. As long as he makes the easy throw and doesn't beat them, they're going to be loaded at receiver. Their offensive line is okay. It's okay. To me, that's a more difficult out for a lot of NFL teams just because, one, you have to play on the road versus them. It's a problem. And then two, they're just completely different, man. Like, you really got to deal with something unique when you play Chicago. So to me, I fear them a little bit more than I would Green Bay. Green Bay head coach is an offense play caller. He is. Matt LaFleur, Matt LaFleur is good. And he had Jordan Love rolling last year. And again, maybe this is my confidence in our matchup against them. I think we match up extremely well next season. So maybe that's what this is. And I don't know that it's by a wide margin. But if I had to bet on it right now, that's how I do it. I'm shocked Falcons didn't go Fields and Cousins. You're shocked they didn't go Fields and Cousins? Well, I'll say this. To me, and this one's a tough one, I'd right now go Atlanta over 9.5. I think Atlanta's the best team in the division. I think Kirk Cousins is one of the better quarterbacks in football. I think I said top 8 on one of my streams. I think he's easily top 8. At very least top 8. So I'd put them over. That's also because I don't love their division. So I don't know what the heck I'm getting there outside of them. They're getting a legit quarterback. They're a pretty good team, well-rounded. I think they'll be good. So I'm going to put them as an over. There was another one here that I thought stood out too. What was it? Arizona. All right, watch this. San Fran under. 11.5 is too high. Now, Kansas City 11.5 over, that feels like easy money too. Do we really think Kansas City is going to go 11-6? I mean, if healthy, 11-6, really? Come on, man. They're not going 11-6. They're going to win 12 games at least. I'm going to go Kansas City over. They have an outstanding defense. They added pieces offensively. I don't think Xavier Worthy's a first-round guy, but he'll work there. San Fran, however, pull him back. Again, does this sound biased? Absolutely. And maybe there's some of that is. I think they pull back. I think San Fran pulls back. I think here, I can even go to their draft because there was, let me do this one before I do that because I had this other one pulled up. Watch this one. This is also an easy money one, I think, for me. What are we talking about here? Giants 6.5? Give me the over. Give me the over Giants 6.5. Look, man, Giants have already made the playoffs with Daniel Jones. I'm not a Daniel Jones guy, but they've already done it. They added Malik Neighbors. If Malik Neighbors is healthy, that's what they needed more than anything was receiver. They're not great at receiver. They're still very not great, but him and Jalen Hyatt after last season could be solid. You're going to have vertical threats as long as he can get the ball out there. Offensive line is very questionable too. Their tackles need to connect. John Running's in. Their interior is kind of a mess a little bit. But defensively, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, they loaded up on the front. They already have Kayvon there who came along. And then in the draft, they had a Tyler Nubin to replace who's, to me, day one, he's going to take the football away. And then you added Andrew Phillips to a cornerback room where Nick Cloud didn't even play that bad. They're not a great team by any means. Wan'Dale Robinson, yeah, solid. They're not a great team. I wouldn't put them as a playoff team. But over 6.5, I'll take that with Brian Dable. I would be shocked if they were really bad again, if healthy. I'd be shocked if they were really bad. They made it work with Daniel Jones to get to the playoffs. I don't think it's going to work long term. But right now, come on. Yeah. I mean, yeah, man, bro. That's all they need that so much, and they landed it. Raiders over. Ooh, Raiders is a good one. So Raiders 6.5. I actually didn't really put that one down in my notes. Let me see. So Las Vegas Raiders, depending on who starts at quarterback, I'm a little bit of O'Connell guy, but Minshew was so darn good last season. I would assume it's gonna be Minshew. And Minshew's legit. I think Minshew's starting caliber, man. I understand he was with a great offensive coordinator. That had a lot to do with it, but he did a lot off script too. So I like Minshew. They added JPJ to that mix. Their offensive line is still not good, but they needed it. They needed it because they have Colton Miller, who's really solid at left tackle. Outside of that, they're kind of a mess. They had a DJ Glaze too, so maybe at some point, probably not enough there. Yo, who did they even draft? I'm looking at this depth chart, man. Like, what did they do? Did they not have any draft picks? What moves did they make? Tommy Eichenberg. Oh, they got Brock Bowers. Okay, that's right. That's right. Brock Bowers to play slot. To me, he's a direct replacement easily for in a different body type, of course, for not having their little slot receiver Renfro, who was eating for a long time. So that's solid. They have a really legitimate receiving core. Devontae Adams is still really good. Jacoby Myers, that was a really strong number 1-2. Oh, they have Michael Gallup. Chat, they have Michael Gallup. I didn't even know that. Zaxton, you know that they have Michael Gallup, or is this not updated? I didn't know they had Michael Gallup. That's not a bad receiving core. I thought their weapons were good last year too. They just need a lot out of that interior. They need steps taken, and they need JPJ to be immediately a starter. I'm not mad at the over there. Christian Wilkins, Max Crosby, Tyree Wilson. It's kind of a similar makeup to the team that we just talked about in terms of the defensive line. So I'm not mad at that. They also have Robert Spillane, who was a dog last season. Their cornerback room, Jack Jones, Nate Hobbs. Hobbs was good. Oh, they didn't even address that really. They added Richardson from Mississippi State. They had Devonshire. Yikes. I don't know that they got enough, man. That feels like right on the border. I like their weapons, but I'm going to be honest. I'd say under, I think I'd say under. That's tough because I like their head coach. I love their weapons. Their offensive line's concerned. If Powers Johnson is legit immediately, which I think he's really darn good, it could be an over. Is their defense good enough for that to be an over? You know what? No, I'm going to bet on the front seven. I feel like I'm a big DB guy, especially after this offseason. I'll bet on the front seven. Let me flip that. I'm going to give them the over. What's our record versus the AFC South? So Tennessee Titans are going to be very formidable. I don't know if that's home or not. I think that's on the road. But Will Levis, with their weapons that they have, that's going to be a problem. But, we're built for that. Their offense finds a mess. We'll beat the Titans. AFC South. Who else is in the AFC South? Jacksonville will be interesting. They were 8-2 or 8-3 when Trevor got hurt last season. Jacksonville's a good team, but we've had their numbers, so we'd beat Jacksonville. Houston's one of the best. Houston's going to be tricky. And then you have the Colts, who I think are tricky too. I think you want to play Indy early. I would say you might want to play Indy late just because of you're not sure if Anthony Richardson's going to stay healthy. I think Indy's tough, though. Indy's tough. They have a great offensive mind. I think that Minshew was a better quarterback last season than in a little bit that we got to see Anthony Richardson. That's fair. He was young. He was very raw. I think he was better, though. But their defensive line's strong. That will be a matchup of the trenches. That's going to be awesome. But their cornerback play is still very young. So unless they take steps there, they take massive steps with really not having invested in it that much because they have Latu now in the mix. If they take steps there, they'll be fine. I would say Indy's going to be a problem. Indy's going to be a little bit of a problem. Yeah, I think both those teams will be difficult. I think you want Indy a little bit later, unless that means Richardson's rolling. And then Houston's just one of the best teams in football. Who did Indy add? So then they added Latu. Then they came back, and I think they added a receiver, right? They added Adonai Mitchell. I think Indy's good, man. I think Indy's good. And they ended up getting their guy back, right? Grover Stewart's back in the mix. I think Indy's good. And what's their over-under? That's the issue I had. I think their over-under set too high. I don't know that from what I saw last season with Anthony Richardson, I would say under. But buying into the rest of that team, I'm going to go over. Plus, I'm rooting for the Colts in a sense. Shout out to the Colts. And he lost Zach Moss, though. Yeah, but they got JT, man. They got JT. Zach Moss did do his thing for a stretch. He had a nice little stretch. Hey, I'm not mad at that. Okay, so what was the other ones that we want to hit on? So Dallas going under. But Dallas's betting totals are going to be, I think, just skewed by a lot of Cowboys fans. Unless there's a lot of people betting the under. I'll go under. Yeah. We'll go under there. Bengals, I feel like I'd never bet the over just because I wouldn't be confident in their health. I just wouldn't be. They've also lost DJ Reader this offseason, but they did everything they could. Like, they straight up just tried to replace everything, it feels like there. I think Philadelphia 10.5. I'd bet on Philly over before I bet on Dallas. So let me do this. Okay. some of these other ones that I wanted to touch on here. Carolina 4.5. Like, I feel I would just take the over just because. Just because. Here's one I do like, though. I do like Arizona over. I like Arizona over, man. Yo, Tampa set at 7.5. What? Hold up. I'm just now seeing this. Tampa set at 7.5 after going to the playoffs, and they basically brought everybody back. That's a little bit disrespectful. I'd feel a little slighted. Washington. I would 6.5 is low. I would say Washington under. Now, they needed a regime change. It wasn't working. Their offensive line was kind of a disaster last season. Well, it was very much so a disaster. They also moved on from Sam Howell, who I liked, but they got Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels can get them wins early, but like I feel like we prop up McCarthy and that position that he's in, which they should, because they win with whoever basically has been at quarterback. But Washington, man, I don't think the supporting cast is that good. I'm not a big Jahan Dotson guy. I wasn't when he came out. De'Ami Brown hasn't done much, I don't think, in the NFL. Terry McLaurin always feels like he's hit and miss to me. They added Rosamie, Jack State in free agency, which could be something. Luke McCaffrey, I think I like the upside there. Ben Sinnott, not a big Ben Sinnott guy. Not that big, at least. But he could be effective, especially, catch and run, those areas. Defensively, they added Johnny Newton, who's now having surgery. So we'll see if he can play. But they're already loaded there. It's more about defensive end for them, where they have Dorrance Armstrong, who's okay. He's kind of a rotational piece. And Cleveland Farrell. They added Mikey Sanders still. That'll help a ton. But their quarterback unit is St. Juiced. Michael Davis in Forbes, Forbes takes off this season because last year it was rough. I'd go under, man. I don't have enough things to buy in there. This cursed by the sun guy list. I don't got enough to buy in there, bro. So I'm gonna go under. Scary Terry needs some help. Now he does. Tampa should win the South. I like the Atlanta until they pick Penix. Man, I'd still go. I think Kirk's really good, bro. I think they're gonna be very happy. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people. Yo, Dion, I have some insider news that needs to be spread. Okay. Hopefully, if it gets out, something can be done to remedy the situation. Hank and Ben are salty about not getting raises for staying. What? He didn't get a raise? Hold up. Hey, how did that even happen? To be honest with you, if that's true, start to GoFundMe. We're starting this. GoFundMe.com/save Ben and Hank. Gotta do what we gotta do, man. Now, hey, do you have like a tweet from this or something? If you do, man, definitely send it over. That's interesting. That stinks. I hate to hear that. I'm a little bit shocked. I mean, they have spent a lot of guaranteed money, but he did get a raise last year. This is true. That from what we heard, he did get a raise. I mean, Hank's been around for a minute. I know there was questions he was going to leave or not. So could the Hank thing be more about like the questions that have already come up, which was like people weren't sure how long Hank was going to be around? I know there's already been stuff brought up about that. So could that be part of it? Who I'd take a drunk guy over the O-line. Bobby Johnson stinks. Yeah, Bobby Johnson. I don't know nothing about Bobby Johnson. Be straight up. Okay. Who else do we want to do here? Man, Cleveland under 8.5. That's tough. I feel like I have way too many overs here, but I'm going to go over on the Rams. That feels like easy money. The Chargers are weird because 8.5 is a kind of high number, but I do like the Chargers because they have Harbaugh. Like, I'm not going to bet against that guy. I'm going to go under, though, on the Saints. We have to get more unders in here. We have too many overs. It's not going to make sense. I think also Seattle, honestly, their roster is really strong. Their defense is legit. This is the weird one. I'm not sure where I'm at with Seattle, actually. Instinct tells me to push them down, but I'm not sure where I'm at with that one. I don't know if Tennessee did enough. Is it Tennessee? Like, if we go through Tennessee's roster, I think I had it pulled up. I don't think Tennessee did enough. They had a receiver help for sure. That's huge. That's huge because they'll compete just on that alone. Was it that? Oh, no, it wasn't Tennessee. I'm sorry. It was someone else. I'll find the other team. So they had Tavondre Sweat, which is a replacement for the rotation they had at nose tackle. They didn't have a nose tackle last year. So that may have been just a force pick. Like, yo, we got to fix that. For our defense, we have to get that. So if that pans out, that'll be helpful. Kenneth Murray in there, he did some good things with the Chargers. They added my boy Jarvis Brownlee. That's not bad. Their cornerback positions. Chidobe Awuzie, he's okay. So if they get some pressure, they still got Jeffrey Simmons. That could be okay. That could be okay. Offensively, they had weapons. You know what? No, I kind of like the Titans. Actually. Let me go over Titans right now. 6.5 is low. Let me go over. Denver 5.5 is crazy. That's crazy. Denver 5.5 is crazy. Okay, we know where this one's gonna go. Let's get that one done. Buffalo. I'm gonna say, well, Buffalo. Here's the thing, though. Buffalo was winning when they stopped throwing the ball, and Buffalo's gonna have a really good defense. I think Baltimore lost key pieces. We're gonna push them down. Williams will be Brad's next great receiver. Fine. The free agent. Wait, Isaiah Williams. Is that who you're talking about? Chubb have a Chubb type year. Chubb's a dog, man. And that offense fine when they start pulling like that. Mike Disner has done great except for this. Thanks, Dan. No, this is insider news. My source is close just around. Ooh, okay. Ooh, okay. Well, I hate to hear that, to be honest with you. You want me to share this? Hank is going with Ben as his OC. Wait, what? Nah, dog. All right, don't let me think. I don't want to think about that. Hunter Renfrow will be the next Lions signing. Hunter Renfrow would be like a Lions type of signing, right? Like the kind of guy that you forget about. Then it's like, wait a minute, this guy's kind of good. Why was he not on the team? I like that. Okay. Bro, this is tough. I'm going to go under for Miami. I'm going to go under. They're so darn dynamic, though. And honestly, Miami, like, even when they lost in the regular season, they were still good. So that's a tough one. I'm going to go under Miami just to kind of keep it mixed here. Dude, 9.5 is so high for the Jets. That's so high, dude. The Patriots, they should beat. The Commanders, they should beat. Wait, am I thinking about the wrong division? Yeah. The Jets, the Patriots, the Dolphins. I'm going to go over, bro. I'm going to go over Jets. I'm going to go over here. The Jags are really good when healthy. So this is a weird number. What does that Jacksonville roster look like? What was that looking like? Okay. So their offense finds okay. Yeah, it's not that good. They had Ezra Cleveland. They brought him back. I don't even think he played that well there. They added Brian Thomas, though. That should help. Gabe Davis, not a big fan. Christian Kirk, okay. Defensive line. Trayvon did his thing last year. They added Armstead, which was huge. They added some help there. Cornerback Ronald Darby, he's good. You just can't expect him to be healthy. Bro, this is crazy, but I'm gonna go under on Jacksonville. I'm gonna go under 8.5. Someone's got to be under. I'm gonna go under. I don't want to go under on the Texans though. Okay. Seattle. We gotta look at Seattle. I gotta see what Seattle's looking like. Because like I said, I know they have a really legitimate secondary. It's gonna be some changes. Like they've tried to change a lot of things there. Byron Murphy's now in the mix. That defense is strong, man. Their edge is still a little questionable, but that defense is strong. They got Nelson Caesar as a free agent. I didn't even know that. Okay. And then they added Pritchett to Tariq Woolen. Michael Jackson. Wait, Witherspoon's going to play in the slot. Are they missing a corner? Whoa, wait. Did they lose a corner this offseason? Witherspoon plays in the slot. If he does, like last season. But he doesn't maybe have to. You could put Pritchett there. And then you have Woolen on one side. Was Michael Jackson their starter last? I thought they had somebody else. And then Michael Jackson started at times. He wasn't their full-time starter, though, last year. I know Trey Brown played a little bit. Ooh, I kind of don't like that. Now, I guess they could put him out wide, though, and Pritchett could maybe figure some of that out. Oh, man. I think it's a weird situation, man. I'm going to go under. I like their team. I like Sam Howell, but I'm going to go under. That feels like a weird team built. Hank and Ben standing with the Super Bowl. Well, let's get it done then. Let's get it done because the window's open. Let's do it. They're loyal. You still better not get raises. He didn't get a raise last year. Okay, that actually definitely would make sense because we didn't hear anything about that. And that man has been doing his thing from what we can tell from the outside. And we really haven't given him any investments there. Like he could definitely use a little bit more into that mix. Shoot, man. See, like to me, New England's messy because I don't think they're going to start Drake May. Part of me thinks if they were starting Drake May, I'd have a little more confidence because maybe you could get something you don't expect. Their defense is strong, but does that take a step back because Bill's gone? Like it's a perfectly built defense for who they are. They added my man Dial in the draft out of South Carolina. Shout out to Dial, man. You were fun to watch. And I like what they have, especially because they were just so banged up last season. They're a little old though. They're a little old. On that defensive line, they're pretty old, man. They got Barmore. They just extended him. Offensively, Jalen Polk was big time. They had Javon Baker in the mix too. Caden Wallace. I like what they do with their offensive line. I think they got day one impact players. All right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, man. I'm doing it. New England, you're going over. You're going over. Okay? Chat, I need your take on this one. Denver, 5.5. What would you bet? Will Denver go over under 5.5? What do you guys think? How do you bet against Sean Payton winning 6 games? They have a quarterback that's ready to play right now, in my opinion. Like he might be an upgrade over Russell Wilson in that offense. Straight up. Russell Wilson did some good things off schedule. He might be an upgrade, though. At least similar. They added Troy Franklin, Josh Reynolds, so they got a reliable receiver. Troy Franklin definitely mixes that group up, but he's already got the connection there. Their offensive line, they added McGlinchey. That's not a great offensive line. That's a little bit concerning. Okay. Defensive line, DJ Jones. That's not bad. It's not a bad addition. Zach Allen, Franklin Myers. They just added him before. They traded for him. Baron Browning. Ooh, actually, this is not that good looking. Levi Wallace is their starting corner. He was okay with Pittsburgh. Added Abrams Drain. That's a great fit. Riley Moss, McMillan. Jaquan McMillan. No, we had him, didn't we? Ooh, boy, I don't know about that defense, man. Over 7 wins, always a good defense. We cooked them. You know what I'm saying? We cooked them. The run defense is suspect. That's right, bro. It was terrible last season. I think it got better towards the end there. They added Jonah Ellis. I don't think this is enough, dude. No, I don't think they got enough day one here. I'm going to go under. All right, Carolina. Let's just do all these because we're about done. Let's just do all these. Carolina. I gotta like look. Let me read some of the roster off for Carolina for y'all, okay? Offensive line, disaster. Ike Ekwonu, Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis is actually solid. That's not a bad addition. He's a capable starter. Next to Austin Corbett, was capable with LA. Robert Hunt, big free agent signing. Actually, they're not bad on the offensive line. Hold up. Taylor Moe. It's just that their tackles pan out. Their interior is not bad. Bryce Young, okay. Xavier Legette, I'm concerned about that. Yo, you guys remember how before the draft, I was like, yo, if there's a receiver I could be concerned about, maybe it doesn't hit, it'd be him because of his route running. And then he goes to Carolina. Remember how y'all were like, yo, but what about the situation? He landed in Carolina, dude. Like, that's not the right situation for you, Xavier. He'll get targets, though. I mean, at least there's that. He'll get targets. They added Deontay Johnson. Thielen was a dog last season. Okay. Derek Brown, Shai Tuttle. Okay, that's not great. But it's a nose tackle. Ashawn Robinson. Yeah, he's a run stopper. Not a lot of pass rush inside, huh? Outside of Derek Brown. Not much pass rush here. Because they lost Brian Burns, so they added Jadeveon Clowney. Gosh, that's a downgrade. Linebacker, Shaq Thompson, Josie Jewell. Their cornerbacks are fine. If J.C. Horn's healthy, Dane Jackson, it's solid in the slot. Jordan Fuller at safety, it's a good safety. Troy Hill. Wait, they're putting Dane Jackson out wide? Oh, man. I don't know how to feel about this. Forwards be trending up. How many they win last year? 1? Oh, man. Yo, no, I ain't gonna do them like that. They're not gonna get 5, dog. They're not gonna get 5, dog. I can't do that, bro. Okay. I'll come back to that. Let's go to Tampa. Because, like, there's things that I like about that. They just don't have any pass rush. There's, like, no pass rush there, and I don't know if their tackles are going to work. The receivers are, it'll help. It's definitely going to help. Who's that tight end for them? Tommy Tremble, Jatavian Sanders. I like them. I like that. You know what? No, we're going to stick with the up. Their offense needs to lead away. Need a big jump for Bryce Young. As long as we give me that, we're good. Tampa Bay. Why is Tampa Bay so low? They just made the playoffs. They brought everybody back, right? Ben Bredson's their left guard. They have Tristan Wirfs, Graham Barton. They had a Graham Barton, Cody Mao, Luke Gadecki. It's not a great old line. Mike Evans, Trey Palmer, Chris Godwin. They added Jalen McMillan, which is a great fit for what they already have. Their defense, Logan Hall. I don't think he's popped yet, but Vita Vea, Kalijah Cansey. Maybe you see a little more this year. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. That's not a bad front four. KJ Britt, Levante David. Okay. Don't know about that. Yaya Diaby's been huge. My man. He's been huge. He's been good. They have Whitehead. He takes the football away. Antoine Green just got paid. Jamel Dean, Tyke Smith. They lost their man, though. But Zion McCollum's actually played really well as a starter. So them being confident with, like, we can just do this and we'll be fine. They added Chris Braswell. They feel like they're ready to win. Like, this feels like a team that's ready to win. In that division, they got the Saints. They got the Falcons, who's going to be tough. Who else is in that division? Saints, Falcons. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. Who am I forgetting? Cardinal? No. Carolina. If I put Tampa Bay over, I have to put Carolina under. Oh, man. They're ready to win. They're ready to win, man. They can't run the football. They didn't even run the ball last year. They couldn't run the football last year. They added Bucky Irving. Yo, they're ready to win, bro. I'm going over. This is too many overs, but I'm going to go over. Houston. Yeah, bro, dude. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Flacco's in Indy, no longer on Cleveland. Shout out to Flacco. Hey, that's a good backup, too. Sort of. Their offensive coordinator will probably be able to make it work. Cleveland at 8.5. They win with whoever's at quarterback. Is that not like the easiest bet? I know it wouldn't make any sense based on my numbers here, but they win with whoever. They had a Jamari. I liked that their draft. There were a lot of guys that I liked in the draft. Michael Hall gives them some juice in the interior. They added Nathaniel Watson. Their cornerback play is still legit, kind of. They have Greg Newsome. Yo, like that's not a bad. If they're healthy, it really comes back to health here because they're loaded on the front. Their cornerback play is still strong. They added Jerry Jeudy. How is it at 7.5? Yo, hey, I might. Shout out to Bet US if they want to hook me up this season. We might. This is kind of like that preparation. We got to be prepared for what could happen. Why is Cleveland low here? Why is Cleveland 7.5, 8.5? Is that low? What did they win last year? I guess because Deshaun Watson's been a disaster. And now their backup quarterback is Jameis Winston. So, oh, goodness. That's their backup quarterback? What are y'all doing? Why out of every quarterback y'all signed Jameis Winston, bro? Zach Zinner's a great fit for them. I can't go under, man. I can't, man. They just win with whoever's out there. This graph is an absolute disaster, but I can't. Some I got less conviction on than others, but I think Buffalo's going to be an under for me. I think. Like Buffalo's ability to win with less throwing last season, like pulling back on throwing the football, makes me believe that this should be over. They had a Keon Coleman, which I would argue is definitely going to be an upgrade over Gabe Davis. But he's definitely, I mean, him and Stephon Diggs kind of pulled back a little bit, but on paper, not an upgrade. They also added Chase Claypool, which doesn't really do much for him. Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, that's not a great receiving core. But do they need it? I mean, if there's a team like we say with Kansas City, do they need elite receivers? Maybe not. Their quarterback's going to do everything anyway. Their offensive line, did they add anything there? No. Dalton Kincaid's still there. He's going to have to be huge. The running back's fine. I like what they added, to be honest. Cole Bishop next to Taylor Rapp is going to be strong. They have some pass rush they added with Javon Solomon and Dwayne Carter. I like what they added. I just don't know that. I think 10.5 is too high. I'm going to go under. Only thing is, though, if I have Miami and Buffalo under, that's too many teams that are under. Nah, I got to go over. Timeout. I got to go over. I'm going to go over. Yeah, because they can't all be under. They can't all be in the same division and be under. All right, last one, right? Cincinnati 10.5 is crazy because they're always hurt, it feels like. But they attack their needs, and they added Jermaine Burton, who's a dog. Yo, if they're healthy, that's a 10 plus win team. That's a 10 plus win team if they're healthy. What do y'all think? Hey, if they're healthy, that is a 10 plus win team. I'm going to go over. We have way too many teams that are over here. Oh my goodness. And how do I down Houston? Is that just simply like, oh yeah, he's going to, I think CJ Stroud's one of the best quarterbacks in football. So I can't. I don't think they could run the ball at all last season. They added Joe Mixon. All right, they're over. We got too many teams that are over. Is there anybody else I can easily move down here? One of these teams got to go. To me, it kind of feels like maybe the Chargers. I like what the Cardinals did. I'm gonna drop the Cardinals down. Let's make the Cardinals an under, and then too many teams here are over. I'm gonna put the Raiders under. All right, this is what we're looking like. This is not 16 and 16, but this is a little fun thing to just put together. Let's present this. Chat, this is what we're looking at. It's what we're looking at. My over-unders, early over-under thoughts. How many unders do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. Hey, I mean, I guess that's possible, right? There's like a scenario where that could happen. We only have 13 unders, though. We're 3 off. Put Bears under. Yo, I think the Bears are going to be better than the Packers, dog. I think they're going to be better than the Packers. I mean, I hope I'm wrong on that. It can all be trash. Hey, all of y'all can be trash. I feel good about this. Jets need an under. Yeah, that's actually not a bad one. That's really not a bad one. Because, like, I like the Jets roster. I like it. Don't love it. I just love Malachi Corley. I think that's an amazing fit there. If you told me Rodgers was healthy every game, they'd be really interesting. Their defense is so darn good, though. It's so good. Hey, hold up. Now they got Javon Kinlaw starting. They might be able to hide him. A little bit. Oh, they got Bruce Hector over there. Hey, shout out to Bruce Hector. And they added Leonard Taylor. Hassan Reddick was an addition. They're old, man, but they had Will McDonald as his backup. Like, that's a good defense. That defense is loaded. I don't know, man. I think they did it the right way. I'm going to leave him as over. I'm going to leave him. So Aaron Rodgers or Kirk Cousins not finish the season? I would say Aaron Rodgers wouldn't. I would say Kirk will. Now, take that back. Flip it. Shoot, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't root for no injury. I don't know. Hey, I appreciate you. Shout out to Bruce Hector. Hey, it does matter. It does matter. Hey, I root for Rodgers since he left the pack. He is a better human on the ayahuasca. Yeah, I got no poor feelings towards Rodgers, man. I hate that he was hurt last year. As a fan, it was really, bro, just feeling for the Jets. Like, that was disgusting to see what happened on week 1. My goodness, man, that was terrible. And then they won the football game, which made it honestly worse because it was like, oh, hold up, we got some hope. And then it was just a disaster. The rest of the season was a disaster. It was so hard to watch that football team. And we did, man. Oh, gosh, it was a disaster. I feel so bad for you. Hey, Richie, I'm sorry. You're not watching this, but if you're listening somewhere out there, I'm sorry, Richie. You had to deal with that. So I'm going to go over for you. My God, I'm going over for you, okay? The Chargers, I'm a little worried on. I think 8.5 is high, but I'm going to bet on Harbaugh. Browns will go over because they just do it with everybody, but I'm with you. Deshaun Watson was trash. Colts, I'm a little bit worried about too, putting them as over. But the rest of them, I kind of feel good about. So, yeah, early over-unders, man. That was a fun one. That was fun. I like we did that. Did MetLife turf get magically not crappy since last year? I don't know. Hopefully. Hopefully. Steelers may be a reach. Steelers might be a reach. It feels like that all the time, though. Like, I don't like either of their quarterbacks. But it's like, I don't even need to look at the roster. It's Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to find a way to win. If I didn't know the history of Pittsburgh, I would have put under. They took Mason McCormick, Zach Frazier, and Troy Fautanu. They addressed their offensive line straight across the board. I don't like their quarterbacks, but they did add Roman Wilson, which is okay. Their defensive line's but if TJ Watt's healthy, he's actually pretty strong. Take that back because they'll still have Hayward. Benton is actually pretty good. That's not bad. Ogunjobi can get a little pass rush in there. Their cornerback play, Joey Porter, was a dog last season. Deontay Jackson, I don't know. They're kind of just hoping that he pops like he did before. They added Darius Rush. Their cornerbacks are not great. Those are not great. But what about their linebackers? That's going to make the difference here. Landon Roberts and Highsmith, but he's a pass rusher. They added Patrick Queen, though, and Peyton Wilson. Yeah, that's an over. That's an over. They're just going to find a way. That's over. I'm not betting against them. I wouldn't bet against them. Carolina, I could see going under. But 4 and 5, like, I don't want to be a hater. You know what? I'm going to be a hater. Dang, I don't want to do this because straight up, bro, I'm rooting for you, Carolina. Like, for real. I want to see it work. I'm rooting for you, Bryce Young. All the people that were, like, hating on you, get down on you last season. I'm rooting for you, man. Go do your thing. Prove them wrong. Man. It was one season. I got some good weapons. I'll go the under there. That'll be the tweak. All right, boom. Over-unders. How we feeling? Hey, how we feeling? Also, if you're just joining, man, you're wondering where's the Jared Goff talk. We were doing that to open this show. We reacted to some clips. So definitely pull it back. Watch the beginning of this. All right, before we get out of here, I want to show you guys a video clip. Last second. I gotta show y'all this because I was bro. This was killing me, man. I gotta show y'all this, man. This was so funny. All right, here it is. Oh, my man, what's up, Chris? Hey, Chris. Yo, Chris, you've changed your picture. I've just noticed that. Chris, you changed your picture. I think in this video clip, you made a comment or something. I saw your comment and it was like, yo. And I just saw that today. That's crazy. That's weird, bro. Time, man. It's crazy. All right, I gotta show y'all this. Hey, yo, this was killing me, bro. And again, hopefully we have Rad on this week. That's the hope. Oh my gosh, this is so funny, bro. All right, I gotta show y'all this. I won't show y'all the whole thing unless you want to see it, but yo, I made this funny moments compilation after one of our shows, and this one, I was dying, bro.
I like Honda Civic. Ain't nothing wrong with Honda Civics, man. I like Honda Civics.
I just don't want it. You can have.
I mean,
you already got the keys, so you must have took them. So
okay, I got
I
them.
mean, if that's what we're doing, you just took the keys.
Yo, I can't. Yo, watch this.
Oh,
Hey,
what happened? You was trash. Hold on. Let me see this.
Yeah.
Bring that
this
up.
part, bro.
Because I think I helped you actually. Yeah, I did help you pick this team.
I think Rad's reason.
Is it ready? Oh, we're picking your team Thursday. Oh,
Rad 66 out of 100.
I don't know if I had anything to do with this. This was all you.
Rad.
I had nothing to do. You picked Goff.
Rad.
That's where you messed up.
Oh,
Remember,
no,
I told
God.
you need to upgrade with the quarterback. He was like, "Oh no, I forgot." You made some funny comment about Goff. Oh, it's great value. Like, no, we got a QB1. I told you not to take Goff. For starters, I told you not to take it. Scroll
All right.
down on some of my picks.
Okay, yeah.
Scroll down.
Good thing I had.
I had
Stafford
nothing to
in my
do with
other
that Goff. White, I did have something to do with White, but he got hurt.
Okay, so
we agreed on the Henry and Cooper Cup as
we
a,
both
as a
take
unit.
L. We can both take the L.
Okay, we
Up
both
to the
agreed
state.
on Cooper Cup. I said Rondell
Rad.
Moore. That was me.
Rad,
Rondell
you
Moore was
holding
me.
back.
That was me.
See
this? That was us. That was us.
Rad,
That was
I'll
us.
give you 60% for that one, bro.
Okay, yeah, I'm a bigger Cephas fan. Okay, I'll take a little bit of Cephas. Jack
Doyle?
Doyle,
Did you say
was that me or you?
I don't even know who Doyle is, Rad.
Yo, it's
Okay, that was probably me, but I think we got him at good value, remember? Like we had to Fandango to get a tight end.
You gave me
I picked
Patterson, that was
Cordell
good.
Patterson. You know what? I think that was a 50-50 split. Just because the quarterback you picked right there.
The quarterback takes more of the
And he's supposed to set the tone, and you didn't set the tone for the team by picking him.
Rad, I don't know, bro. I don't know about the one.
I don't even
You
know
got
if
a
I had
lot-
anything to do with this.
We gave you Rondell. You quit.
That was the only one was Rondell Moore.
Jack
He don't Cordell
Doyle.
Patterson. I didn't
Ducks
have nothing
got
to do with
dark.
Doyle. I don't know if I had anything to do with Doyle.
hey, the shade.
Rad, who is Jack
Jade.
Doyle? I think you did, Rad.
So that screwed me.
Damn.
DeAndre
that's
Hopkins.
unfortunate.
Odell. Yeah, that's my
hurt?
Jack Doyle. Oh, I got two people hurt
Jack
in one
Doyle
game.
was you and James White.
I don't know about that one.
Back. He had one reception.
I can't agree with that one. I'm not taking blame.
Cephas, man.
I'm taking blame for
Rad,
Rondell Moore.
Brad, what's your team's fantasy record?
1-2 and 0-3. It's bad this year, man. I'm not making no trade.
Baby.
You want to make a trade?
Yo,
Can you look at my team?
Yeah, I'm going down to him right here at the bottom.
Okay, cool.
So number 12.
Oh, okay.
Oh, who's that right above you? Who's that right above you?
Wait,
Yeah, what's crazy about this, bro? We are both so terrible. Dog, I don't know if it's in this clip, but they projected, like, you know how you do the draft? I immediately got an email. And it predicted that I go like 0-14. And then I won a game, bro. I was so hyped. I think it's actually coming up here. They predicted me to go 0-14, dog. Every time, I think the best fantasy draft I've ever done, like the prediction, was 5-7 or something like that. Like it was a losing record. It was like the best prediction I ever had. I was actually hyped. I was like, yo, I'm like about to be good this year. Dog, they got us both at the bottom.
did I lose last week? Hold up. I don't. Maybe I
Who's
read
that?
it wrong.
Who's that right above you?
Who's
Okay,
Trady
let's see.
McGrady? What kind of whack name is that?
That's me. Let's go.
It's just a nickname people give us. I don't call it.
Okay.
sometimes the Chiefs of fantasy football. I mean, it's just a nickname people give us. I don't call it that.
For our boys, Goff.
Javante. Look at that. Corey David.
That's why we lost. Look who your kicker is.
Hey,
look who your kicker is, though.
17 points, man.
So this was after this was after the Lions Ravens game.
Look who your kicker is. Thanks, Dose.
Brad, I think I may have cost the Lions a game.
Look who your kicker is, bud. And you sitting here talking all this ish, and all along you didn't have him as your kicker. The guy who set a record on us. You should be ashamed of yourself. I wish I could cut him for you. You should just cut him so I can go pick him up. Just cut him.
So you can go pick him up.
Yes, Justin Tucker. You damn right I'm going to pick him up.
Yo, this whole thing had me dying, bro. And it was like this the whole time.
Go with 10.
Okay, stop. If y'all that's on the channel, it doesn't have a lot of views, so maybe a second to find it. Bro, I did for some reason made a phony moments. That thing had me dying, bro. It's like 13 minutes long, but that clip, yo, it made me think back to the picks, man. You benefited off that kick scandal. Wait, the what? The kick scandal. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. My mind went to a completely different spot because I was sorry. It was something off topic. Yes, bro. I guess I did. So I'm the reason that we lost that game because I had Justin, and he had 17 points, bro. He cooked, which makes sense because he set the record in that game. Because I know I probably said something crazy. Like, yo, you can just like look back on the channel and the amount of like videos that you can find. Here, let me pull it up. The amount of videos that you can find of us doing like quarterback rankings or something. And they're a disaster, dude. They're the same every single episode. Every single episode, they all turn out the exact same, which is also hilarious. We did a trivia challenge, bro. Like we were doing some good stuff. Like we need to bring some back. We were playing Kahoot on one of our live streams. It's like, yo, who plays Kahoot on their live stream? We did. Anyway, that was off topic. I thought it was hilarious. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow hopefully Terry and Arnold video. This week's gonna get crazy busy. Like halfway through, I definitely want to do a JMO one, probably a shorter video, but I think it's gonna be necessary. You know, because I was like, who else can I do? Definitely want to do Carlton Davis and Davenport. Maybe we'll do those through a live stream, but that may just have to be its own video. But Carlton Davis hopefully is gonna be the next one up because I'm already halfway through it. Actually, remember that Jared Goff. Hey, oh my goodness, man. Hopefully we have him on soon because that was funny. I'm gonna send him over some of those clips. I saved a couple of them. Yes, live for the schedule release on Wednesday. Not exactly when it drops. Again, we'll be on Bleach Report for the first 30 minutes that I immediately get it, and then we'll be live over here because I'm hoping to get a couple special guests on. That's the plan. I'm not gonna say exactly who they are because I don't want to just be like, hey, we're gonna get these guys, but they won't be here. But we're gonna have some guests on. So absolutely. Outside of that, though, I'm gonna leave it there, man. Big day today for the Lions. $444 million spent, according to reports. Jared Goff signed. Feel free to pull back if you're just now joining. We just did our over/under, so feel free to look at that. And yeah, man, we're gonna end it here. I appreciate y'all joining. I'm with you. It's been a long day. We out. Have a great rest of your night, man. I appreciate the dono. Shout out to my man, Vision Stealth and General Z, and everybody that clicked that like button, man. I appreciate y'all. We out. I'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow.